We're back. We're here. SeeJeanty, YouTube. Man, it's been too long. My goodness gracious. It feels like it's been much longer than it has been. It's only really been oh, let's see. Let's see what was the last live show? No, actually it was a bit. I think we're probably going on 2 months here. I think since we had a chance to all be here and hanging out, I think. But listen, we're back at it again. We weren't ever going to be away for too long. You guys already know this. And this is a special episode for sure, because we have so much to talk about, so much to hang out and do. And honestly, this is a new format. This is a new format that certainly when I got some kinks and some things I'm going to have to update on and do. And I'm really looking forward to these new live shows, because so much of it is related to just having a conversation. Because listen, we have a daily news show with incredible hosts, and I'm so happy to. Whew, there we go. It's been a while when we don't usually have bugs like that happening. Whew, we're back. Don't you guys worry. We're back. We're here. And as I was saying before, we were so rudely interrupted here with a little bugginess on my side. We changed the format. We have Haiti Biz News happening. We have Haiti Biz News happening every week now with incredible host Pierre Stanley, Etienne, who's been holding the fort. More than holding the fort. He's been doing the growth and how he's been reporting. Honestly, I remember when he first started. To the fact just yesterday he did an episode. I said I had no edits. This is a great show, right? And so a new format, and again, I'm very happy to see you all again. And so I'll let you guys come in, file in. And on my side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do what I usually do, is work that background, work that back end. And so bear with me. We'll be right back. And when the show starts, it's going to be a brand new format. Can't wait to spend the next hour and a half just hanging out and catching up with so much we have done, so much of what's happening here at SeeJeanty. With me personally, Chris Jeanty, where SeeJeanty is sort of looking to be its own sort of thing. We'll see. Again, what we're going to talk about a lot of these things that are happening. So just stay tuned. All right. And again, let's play this video file, which ironically speaking is my Haiti Biz News file. I just realized I need to update. I'm going to need to update the file that we've been using just because I haven't necessarily didn't put a note in my head to actually, you probably need to do the transmission sequence and get that updated. But in any case, we'll be right back. And we are live. We are streaming on YouTube. We are streaming on IG. We're streaming on Facebook. We're streaming on Twitter. And man, if I never stop being lazy, I'll grab that other phone I have so I can plop it to my other side, and I'll be streaming on what is that, TikTok as well. I think that's the other big one. That's that the youngsters are using nowadays. It is awesome to be back here, man. It's been quite some time since I've had a chance to speak with all you guys here, that follow the SeeJeanty audience and really give me hope. So much of you guys who I've interacted with who are part of the SeeJeanty WhatsApp group, for example, who are part of the action group on Facebook, and just the folks who I've had the opportunity in the 3+ years I've been doing SeeJeanty Media, that I've been exposed to what I've always known, which is the incredible amount of folks who are working so hard day to day to make Haiti that's livable and workable for so much of us closer to reality. And though Vice News would dislike seeing a better looking Haiti because that's less stories they can churn out for their YouTube AdSense, I'm sure CNN also doesn't want to see a Haiti that functions, because that's a lot less views for their reporting. NBC, NBC I think has given me, given what I've seen, a fair an attempt to be fair and balanced when it comes to Haiti. So let me not put them on a list, but Fox News certainly doesn't. And so we're working towards so one day that folks can just wake up and see a functioning country. And of course everyone who watches us, I don't need numbers. I've always expressed this, right? I've had as much as 300 people on my lives. I've had as little as 5 people on my lives, right? I don't need numbers. I need quality. I need a few folks who are about that action, right? And so it's okay. It's all right. Hit up. I won't hit any names up because I don't want start any social media drama. But go over there. That's cool. Just go over there and let us serious folk, let us grown folk over here and allow us to have a conversation. So it's okay. It's all right. As you can tell, second off, we're in a different spot. I have converted a spot in my studio here, office here as the studio. And I think you guys can recognize this as this is the space where Haiti Biz News is shot. And so I thought, let me just use this space as well for how we usually do things. So, this is fine. In fact, it saves me a lot of hassle in terms of lighting and stuff to get going each time. So it's okay. It's all right. Just for the folks who were a little confused, where are you right now? We're in the same location, just a different room, and so it's great to be back. This episode is going to be different on live because I'm going to be at the second half of this live after we've had a conversation. I've given you guys that update, what's happening. I'm going to give you guys an email of which you can ask me a question through that email, and that question is particularly interesting. I'm going to give you a link to come on the live that's happening. By the way, the live is happening on Facebook and YouTube, just YouTube, right? And so you're probably on guys watching on Instagram right now. You're gonna have to go to you, or you'll get a link to YouTube to come on stage, right? And then you and I will share a screen and we'll have a conversation. And I look forward to that. I remember I did it once on the earthquake episode, and I thought it was incredible, insightful to have a lot of you guys to be a part of the conversation directly, not just me reading comments. And so let me do it again. Let's make that a permanent feature whenever I do my lives now. So that is going to be a permanent feature. So, by the way, thank you for I have just got a treadmill, so thank you so much. Maybe it's the lighting. It's probably the lighting here. Ram Tagancia, I lost all the weight. Right? It's probably the lighting. This is a different room. You know what I'm saying? So, we have lots to talk about. But let me just go through the usual checklist. before we get into the conversation. First and foremost, Creole, et on doit savoir que le monde a nécessité pour ça. Nous avons un monde qui a parlé sur Haïti et sur base de tout bas sur Haïti et nous avons aussi Creole. Et pour tout Haïtien et nous et la réalité c'est que nous avons un côté qui existait en Haïti et pour Haïtiens et du monde entier qui monde qui comprendre une compréhension d'Haïti et dans le langage international là. Le langage international là, c'est pas français lié, ok, et beaucoup chinois, peut-être dans quelques années à collègue chinois, mais pour qu'on y a c'est anglais lié. Et après ça, ils ont fait toute émission SeeJeanty, c'est tout bail nous fait ce canal là, c'est anglais lié. Et puis qu'on plus que l'autre qu'on met, c'est que pour ça, ce pays ça c'est pas un pays anglophone qui ça n'a imposé un langage sur le territoire et qui c'est pas pour nous. Et même tout, on rencontre un monde tout qui c'est là qui ça nécessité ou appeler dit ou appeler on pas la plus bas ou même comment ça va dire c'est pas un pays créolise nous parler bien sûr mais le problème là c'est que là plus côté déjà qui a bail un créole et bon souvent on veut belle bail un créole là regardez frère Joël il y a beaucoup qui dit et créole me parler et frère Joël parle un peu en créole que moi. Ok, peut-être. À l'autre bord. Nous avons à ce côté. Que la blague a bien lagué, a bien présenté. Ok. Et mais pas un côté qui a dit bon youn, oui, toujours dis ça. Bon côté qui moun ka apprendre des pays non parce que pas oublier quand étranger qui a vinn là, seul bail c'est bail l'autre bord qui un pays danger, c'est un pays misère, il va y avoir là dans même, c'est comme ça, c'est même bail là tout. C'est même bail là tout qui m'cadou et oh, there we go, block that. Take care, okay? Il y a une raison que nous pas qu'à et j'aime recevoir des m'cadou moun qui a engagé nous gens yo doit engager nous parce que yo pas connaît assez de nous yo pas gain une perspective qui aussi compliquée parce que pour eux c'est une version qui simplifiée pour eux c'est des haïtiens qui pas connaît rien qui pas connaît assez qui mal guidé qui pas espoir et c'est nous même pour venir pour ba yo bon Dieu nous excusez-moi bon Dieu nous et pour nous bailler des charités et prier pour eux et bidatset il va montrer que les gens qui déjà qui l'a essayé et corriger bailler peut-être nous il pas comprendre que les gens qui business qui a fait il va finir comprendre que il va y a un pays du monde qui a avancé avec charité et il a avancé avec des investissements oui même dans bail difficile même dans l'état qui campé raide devant homme des affaires de tout niveau. Parce que vous va oublier qu'on a attaqué bourgeoisie comme tout parce que ça va être facile pour venir devant venir c'est mon dans l'époque du Valais c'est mon là tu de tout problème notre misère pays c'est mon ça yo quand du Valais fin fait tout aller finir passer avec les Libanisiens yo ce qu'on a José là tout le monde a construit nous pour nous railler mon ça yo avec comme mon ça yo aller tout pas oublier que nous avons une classe filipino qui là souvent faire attention c'est eux même qui va replacer eux après nous 20 ans pour toute constatation nous c'est eux même pas oublier tout ils ont raison que madame c'est en l'arrière a souffert de misère soleil à badaille mouche sous île manger bail parce qu'il y a on l'état qui pas respecter business parce que tout respecter business ou t'a fait un genre pour madame c'est ça ou bâti un petit chambre un petit côté pour lui pour madame n'a inspirer et vendre comme un monde ok a fini même monde dans mi-temps garde monde dans mi-temps garde juste pour moi même qui a essayé de faire des different business qui nouveau qui intéressant qui a bail monde des emplois ou pas qui doit respecter tout parce que bon du no bail nous sous 9 mois là m'a essayé installer un SA nous sous 9 mois là MC campé devant nous noté qui pas fonctionner fait job yo Il y a DJ qui a chaque autre jour, il a monté tarif sur moi, a ajouté bail pour me bail plus cob. Ou ka wè que dans tout niveau, de l'État qui campait derrière, qui parle de business. Ou pas surprise que c'est gang qui prend pays. Ou pas surprise que mon a prend bateau pour quitter pays parce qu'il a des job. Ou les politiciens c'est là, ils campent derrière pour aller chercher moun pour bailler gratis pour qu'ils prennent petit parti là de mettre dans poche. C'est une raison ça qui est bien content que nous avons côté sur réseau qui ça qui concentré sur seul bail qui a avancé nous ces business, seul côté qui est nécessaire qui a parlé sur le topic ça exclusivement parce que un jour on pense finalement nous avons un groupe jaswa qui pas c'est pas politique activisme yo bail, c'est pas des comités politiques yo bail, c'est pas analyse et qui ça li analyse et bon socio-communautaire yo bail et finalement il devrait être consultation sur mettre pression sur l'état pour ouvrir porte chambre pour business pour tout le monde, pour madame Serra, pour moun to pour moi-même et finalement moun a yo que nous tout en Haïti bourgeois yo par un pays du monde qui c'est ennemi c'est mon ressources ou encadrer moun ça ou dit mais ça me vle nan men et tout n'a supporter mais faut payer taxe et il y a un style de business que nous voulons faire qui a maximiser opportunité et quantité de jobs qui existait sur territoire nous va goumer contre nous ça yo encadrer yo avec loi avec force l'état pour faire le travail pour payer sur tout niveau nous besoin avancer ça nous penser peut-être sur un côté chaque jour qui consulte sur ça et tout nous faisons en anglais on engage internationalement tout le monde comprend tout le monde garde et mettre ensemble parce que finalement on va garder son canal business et son autre langage on parle on va autre langage qui est Creole qui est anglais. OK, so pour mon exposition pour expliquer pour ça nous faire ça en anglais pour montrer nous tout pour faire un petit flex devant nous là pour dire ah mais c'est ça les gars dégagent dans Creole. OK, c'est un bon haïtien qui devant là c'est décider pour parler l'autre langage là me parler le langage maintenant à l'aise c'est son choix me fait. OK, pour comprendre c'est un bon haïtien qui devant là. OK, et tout qui m'attend nous nous là pour commencer faire bail ça en anglais pour vide tête moi avec chai ça pour faire un bon un bon créole blague ba yo j'en voulais m'attend nous faire l'autre nouvelle mais juste quand ça arrivé on prend responsabilité à on prend chai ça à moi pour me faire et puis that's it. OK, et puis that's it. So I went a bit longer than usual in the Creole explanation, but I just had to to really break down why we do what we do here in English. And so we're back to the English part. And again, the reason why we do it is that there's no other place doing English about Haiti. And English is an international language. We're about engaging more than just those who are fortunate enough to be able to speak Creole. We want the whole world to be engaged and capable of understanding the realities and complexities of our country. And if you know better, you'll do better, right? And that includes everyone, because again, the way the world is designed to engage with us right now, it's hamstringing us. You know, we're too much of a charity case, and we need to be looked at as opportunities to invest, to grow, and impact. And those things will be what gets us out of the hole that we're in. And all that said, I said all that, but we do have a SeeJeanty Creole channel where everything we do, we try to make a duplicate episode in Creole. And so I'm gonna drop that into the chat here. And those who really do want a Creole version of what we do here, do feel free and go subscribe. We have a lot of pure in Creole content. So please, it's there. It exists. Again, the Haiti Biz News show has returned, the daily news show. It's we have lots of episodes already dropped. And again, Pierre Stanley Chin has been the host. It's been an absolute pleasure to have him take over that mantle. As you guys know, it's always been the goal of Haiti Biz News to that it would not be me. I've told you this. I've told you that the long-term, medium-term goal was never for me to be the one here on these lives. It was always the goal of having it taken over and taking it over more professionally and more consistently, and at the amount of days that you deserve not just once a month or even once a week. You deserve a daily show to stay on the pulse of what's happening in the country, in particular the business side of things, what's happening in the country. So again, we've had so many episodes already. We're going to have so many episodes upcoming. So make sure you hit that subscribe and with the notification so you can know when that new Haiti Biz episode drops. Really important that you support, and watch those episodes, because we're working hard on it, and it needs to be done, and we need to show that there is demand for this. Because I'll be quite frank, I'm just a guy, right? And I'm very thankful for, we do have a sponsor, Valor Kindness, and hopefully we'll have more sponsors soon. But for now, it's just myself, the incredible team I have, pushing this forward. And if we can show there's demand for this sort of content, guess what? More content will be created. And I've never been someone who's like, oh, it has to come through me. I have to. No, I would love to have 5, 10 other channels doing the same thing, right? So, so go support. And we'll talk more about Haiti Biz News later in the show, because it has to do with some of the things that directionally that we'll be doing. Don't forget, the book is out, right? I'll drop that in the link. It's SeeJeanty.com/shop, SeeJeanty.com/shop. The name of the book, written by yours truly, 101 Ways to Make Money in Haiti, lucrative business ideas, insightful success stories, and interesting business opportunities for visionary entrepreneurs. If you're not a visionary entrepreneur, don't read my book. Don't read my book. I want you to read my book. Only visionary entrepreneurs are going to read that book. Got to be visionary entrepreneur. 101 ideas for you guys if you're a visionary entrepreneur. And so that book is out. It's on Amazon. You can download an e-copy or buy the hard copy book, right? Okay. Of course, don't forget, there you have the SeeJeanty Action Group. It's a Facebook group that it's an ecosystem for you guys to continue to share content that's really interesting and really cool, that informs you and provides a different perspective. But just have conversations offline about different things. So just know there is a space that exists that is actually productive, and so do join that Facebook group. And also, don't forget, we have a lot of the things that we've been able to do with SeeJeanty Media, especially, for example, a big part of what's allowed us to do this daily show, bring on a professional journalist, Pierre Etienne, and someone who's been on television in Haiti, like Pierre Etienne has been the contributions of those who are part of the SeeJeanty private WhatsApp group for a monthly contribution. Not only are you connected with a resource of other incredible, highly productive entrepreneurs, right? And folks just impacting in different ways, but also you have an attorney, Giovanni Menard, who has 25 plus years of experience in there. So not only do you have that, but also that I'm in there. I'm always having conversations with folks, questions. If I can provide you my network, if you're trying to do something and you need, I'm in there and I'm helping. And so, so not only are your funds going to create new shows and new content here at SeeJeanty Media, but you're also yourself being enriched by that environment, that ecosystem, right? So I did drop the link on Facebook and YouTube. Those who are watching IG, if you go to SeeJeanty.com and you join and you click contact me, you'll see one of the options for the private WhatsApp group. Hope to see a new member in there later today, right? Um, and of course, we started doing different things. For example, private Zoom calls for group members. We have a long list of action tips, which I've been lacking a little bit. There's been so much I've been going on my plate. I haven't really kept up with the action tips, but we're gonna get back to that soon once I can get a breather. But we'll talk about all the things I got going on and what we're working on to make sense of that. And we have a lot of new videos on YouTube, SeeJeanty, by the way, a lot of new videos. So if you're watching on YouTube, after this live is over, do head over and watch. We have a lot of on locations. We checked out Caribbean Craft. We checked out Beauty Beauty Salon. We had so many Maison Immobilier, which is a real estate agent broker. Their homes that they've done. So do check out so much cool content. Oh, I even just give you guys a preview. This coming week, we'll be dropping IT Analytics, which is a data analytics program that not only teaches data scientists and data analysts in Haiti, which really was not a thing at all before IT Analytics and Castelline, who's the founder, came in and started doing it. But it's a special place in my heart because for a long time, even though I was in Haiti doing my businesses, I was working remotely as a data analytics professional and a consultant. And so it's a particularly special that we have someone who is, in effect, executing my profession, a corporate profession here to Haitians where that wasn't a thing. And what's so cool too is to have a very high success rate in terms of placing these attendees in jobs. You hear this so often. Oh, we're doing a boot camp for this and boot camp for that. But guess what? Once they're done, they have a certificate, but they're still jobless. But thus far, she has had 100% placement rate. What? So again, make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. Make sure you have notifications on when these videos drop. Listen, when we do a video, guys, it's not for play. It's not for play. It's for real. It's for real, right? And we're highly incredible entrepreneurs, incredible action folks. I mean, listen, it blows my mind, guys. It should blow your mind too that Vice News flies in and interviews gang members. Interview gang members, man. Really? For every gang member they interview, I could have easily connected them with 100 impact individuals who are changing the game, changing life for Haiti for the better. But you don't give them airtime. You give the gang member airtime. But I tell you what, you guys are to blame. Why? Because you don't share that video, right? When that video drops of this entrepreneur doing incredible work and it's impacting and it's put together, it's, my videos aren't El Cheapo productions. Like we put work behind it, blood, sweat, and tears behind the work we do, right? You gotta share the video. You gotta share the video and show that there's a market for it, right? At the end of the day, don't be mad at Vice News for coming to our country and showing the worst parts and putting it out there. Don't be mad at CNN for coming in and only coming in when times are bad and putting it out there, right? Don't be mad at Fox News for coming in and putting it out there. If we're not showing there's a market for our productivity, our positive, our impact, because we're not sharing those videos ourselves. So make sure, and I'm not talking about just my videos, anywhere the videos are, right? Anywhere the videos are, we need to share it. We need to share it across our network. Yo, check this video out, man. This is great. Because folks know I do. For anyone who's in the WhatsApp group with me, I pity them because they get, once every few days, you get a video from me that's, this is a great video that's showing really cool stuff about Haiti. Check this out. And I think if we build that in our culture, we can insulate ourselves from, Vice News coming in and just really showing the worst aspects of our country instead of the worst aspects of their country. Plenty of riffraff happening in America right now. You know what I'm saying? So that's really the high level things I wanted to talk about before we really jumped into the episode. Thanks for bearing with me on those things, right? It's been great to come back and be part of what we're doing here. Remember, you're a co-host, so leave a comment, right? Leave a comment. I am gonna, as they come up, read read them. For example, I want to say what's up to Isaac Fields, Lance Bourgeois, what's up? I got Celu Key in the house. We got Marita in here. What's up? What's up? We got Lisa Lauray in the house. Much respect for Lisa, someone who's doing incredible things out in Chicago as a radio personality. Happy to have you in the chat, Lisa. Respect, and do check her out. She's, doing great things for women empowerment and women engagement out there too. So do check her out, Lisa Lauray, on Facebook, particularly, and on Facebook, and on YouTube. She has YouTube too. Aldo Victor in the house. What's up, Aldo? Happy to have you, brother. We got Kenzie Joe in the house, right? Accent, how can we? Can you start somewhere where we can buy a percentage of your business? Actually, we're going to talk about that. Candy, stay around, stick around, and I'm going to tell you about the experience I've had thus far, both good and bad. Because actually, I guess I don't want to say you missed the boat. We just finished a fundraising round, and we have a business venture that has been put together, thus far with 100% Haitian diaspora participation. See this right here. We're going to be talking about it. Stay tuned. Don't change that dial. Can't look forward. I really look forward to spilling the beans on that. Johnny Elliston, what is up, brother? Happy to have you in the channel per usual. Happy to see you. That name in the comments. We got Haiti Punu, what's up? We got Pascal Demas. We got Josh Young in here. I see a lot of new names here. That's great. Viziayo in the house. It's just see in the house. You already know what it is. Agaz in the house, right? And thank you for appreciating the English aspect of the channel, right? We got Bigger Heart in here. What's up? We got Ans Aisien in the house, right? Who else? We got Jean-Claude Jeanty. Comment on Pop? No fun. Good to have Pops in the house watching. We got Daniel Dodard in the house. SeeJeanty Foundation? No, not SeeJeanty Foundation yet. I'm very far away from anything foundation for a long time. We're for profit here, for value addition and job creation. The foundation isn't off the table, but let's get some economic focus for first, right? Zayfe says Philly and Ace in Haiti. Oh yeah, Philly Dom is in Haiti. So yeah, I am aware of that. He's dropping videos about OCOP. I don't know if he's in Port-au-Prince or not, but as for Ace, I'm not sure who Ace is. So Edwin Williams in the house. What's up, Edwin? What's up? Lisa Jacques and Leon Guillaume in the house. What's up? And let's see who's in IG real quick before we get moving. Folks have been in and out in IG, but for those who are still watching, what's up? Hello, and stick around. We got lots to talk about today, right? So, yeah, man, where to start? Let's get into it. Remember, stick around. The second half of the show, I'm going to be bringing folks on, and we're just going to have a conversation. I'm going to be bringing folks on stage, and we're going to have a conversation. I'm probably going to shoot for maybe 5 people, just to keep the time, time respected. And probably I'm going to give a hard 1 minute max for the person to ask the question, and then I respond just to kind of keep a flow going. Because last time I did, folks really folks rambled a little bit, and we got to be respectful of other folks who want to come on stage and ask a question and gain an insight. So we're going to try to be a little more strict. Big Belly FT, what's up? A little bit more strict on that aspect of things, but nonetheless, I look forward to that. It was really fun last time we did it. Yeah, we'll sip of water here. Good stuff. So, the meat and potatoes of it. What have I been up to? Right. Let's talk about it. Right. So, as you guys know already, as a guy, I've serial entrepreneur. I've had a few different businesses here that have been successful. I've had the Haiti Pro Staffing that has really, in a short time, an incredible amount of impact. We've employed dozens of Haitians in Haiti, and it's been incredibly rewarding to I work with some of the larger private companies and companies coming in and connecting them with the incredible talent that exists here, right? There's so much here in terms of, one reason why I started the staffing company, of course, was that, during my research stage before I came in to start a venture, a big part of what I was seeing was so many qualified people with years of experience not finding work, and so many companies that were offering great paying jobs and incredible benefits and opportunities, just not being able to find people. And I thought, man, this is weird. I know so many talented folks need work. I know so many business owners and managers unable to find great work. And so, well, let me come in and a problem, provide a solution. That's a business. What businesses are. And within 4 months, we were profitable. Within 4 months, we had contract with some of the largest companies in Haiti, and haven't looked back since. In our sourcing company as well, same thing. I had just a growing amount of well-capacitated individuals who couldn't find work, and I'm like, oh, guess what? I'll hire them, and we'll see, how many clients I can connect them with stateside. They use the facilities here in my office, and work that way, right? And we'll become a staff company, get a little percent off top, and call it a venture. And we've been doing that, and we've been finding success in that lane as well, right? So those things are still ongoing, though I've pulled them back so I can focus more of my energy and resources towards what we're going to be talking about in a moment. So that's one aspect of what's been going on, right? Of course, the media company, but we're going to talk about that in a minute too. That's been around for as long as I've been doing other than we're going to talk about that. That's kind of a special segment of what we've had, right? But a big thing that I've kept off wraps, but let's talk about it now, has been my involvement with an investment group called SeeJeanty Capital. SeeJeanty Capital, right? SeeJeanty Capital is a firm that for-profit firm that has engaged itself in the city of Jacmel, and they're looking to do real impact work there. In fact, when I engaged with them initially, it was to provide a general manager for their poultry operation. They have two ventures in particular that's ongoing right now, and that is a bakery, industrial bakery that's going to be producing bread, for really the goal is the entire department, right? And a chicken farm that's going to have up to 10,000 chickens per cycle, right? And I had the opportunity to staff for their chicken farm operation, right? And it's been rewarding to be part of them, because when I saw the seriousness of their mission and what they're trying to do, I'm like, man, but yet the riskiness too of what they were trying to do. I was like, man, it's laudable, but I want to make sure these guys are successful, because if they're successful, then what they're trying to do can be replicated in different departments, right? Because you don't have enough of those things happening in this country where we have, and this is a foreigner group, right, coming in and saying we're not going to do charity. In fact, one of the leads of this group was doing charity for 20 years through a local church in Jacmel, but realized very quickly, we sat back and looked at the impact in 2 decades that has been done. It's like, this isn't working. It became clear that charity doesn't work in the long term, right? It patches, but I've been here for 20 years, and the people I've helped, 20 years ago, I look at what they're doing and they're still jobless. They're still in situations where they can't feed their family or find steady employment, are permanently stuck on the teeth of charity because there's no jobs, there's no economic growth, there's no opportunity. and you have talented folks, part of schools and different places that the charity has helped, leave the country, and especially leave the area, never come back and keep their skill sets permanently away from the community as a whole. And that is a problem, right? And when they identify that, said, no, we're gonna start doing ventures, and this is 2 ventures of many ventures to come. And when I engaged with them and saw what their mission was, I said, you know what, they can't fail, and I'm gonna be a part of this. And we worked something out for me to be their country director, and I've since really pushed them along to help them be at a place now where they have somewhere around, oh man, let's see, 15 employees on the bakery side. I'm looking to double that, within a couple months. And the chicken farm side, they just started construction. They broke ground last week, and within about probably another month and a half, that's going to be done. In construction, construction's going to be over, and they're going to be in operation. Knock on wood. If we can avoid hurricanes, earthquakes, and presidential assassinations, we'll be moving forward in that regard. And what's so crazy is, I can't tell you how many Haitians I've met who have told me, Chris, what's happened lately. I've lost. I know a few folks who are looking to do investment projects. My investors got cold feet. And their investors are Haitians. Their investors got cold feet because what's happening. They don't know but these guys that I'm working with, they're not Haitian. But when each time a major crisis happened, presidential assassination, earthquake, and I got a feeler for where they're at mentally. They're like, let's go, let's go extra strength, because this is why we need to do what we're going to do. Because the reason why presidents are being assassinated, the reason why we have such poor resilience to earthquakes, the reason why we have such poor resilience to hurricanes is because we're poor. And when we're poor, because we don't have enough investments, we don't have enough jobs, we don't have enough business, we don't have enough a structure where the government incentivized to support the infrastructure of business, and rather than support the infrastructure of poverty. And poverty support, right? And that's why we need to push forward. So rather than being discouraged by what's happening in the country, they became more energized. And they're foreigners, non-Haitians, right? And that's so incredibly, I guess, perspective aligning for me, because why can't it be us Haitians with that perspective, right? Again, the biggest detractors I know online who talk the most negative energy isn't Vice News, isn't CNN, it's other Haitians, right? And I don't see how a country changes, how people changes, if its worst detractors are other Haitians, right? But in any case, we've been working together, and they've gone very far thus far where they are, and that's what has a big part of what's keeping me busy. Has been that aspect, right, of ensuring that those endeavors see success, right? As much energy I have to put in for them to see success, they will be successful because they cannot fail. Because I want to do a SeeJeanty highlight a series on each of these businesses and what they've done to get from point A to point B, and that's coming. So it can be replicated. So we can have a major boulanger in Gundas, in the northwest, in the north, in the central plateau, Atibonite, and all the different departments. So we can have a poultry farm, of 10,000 or 100,000 chickens, right, in these different departments, right, using capital, right? Because I know so many folks will tell you, I can raise. This is true. This is true expressions that people have spent. I can raise $500,000 for charity in Haiti, easy. I make a few phone calls, I get 250,000 like that. Not even a thing, Chris. But let me try to raise 25,000 for business for Haiti. Ooh, those same pockets that had 250,000 to sign. They don't even ask me what the money's for. I just say charity in Haiti. I'm like, oh yeah, here you go. But when it comes to investment in Haiti, oof, you know what happened? What the way my bank account's set up. And you see why Haiti's in the situation that it is, right? Right. And so that's why it needs to change, because we need to be able to cite these sort of examples of, look, if these foreigners came in, they were to build these businesses, they're providing countless jobs. If they did it, you can do it too. Here's the playbook. Let's try to do it, right? And so, you know, stay tuned on that, right? So that's one thing I've been working on. And now the cat is out the bag now, you guys know. Okay. The other big thing, and here's the meat and potatoes of what we're going to talk about today, is, you know, those who are on Instagram, they can see the little symbol, high pro distribution. For those, let me put it up here for you guys here officially. High pro distribution. We officially launched. When did we launch? Last month, officially launched, and we've been buying product from Haiti, and the goal is to sell that product to America. That's the business model. Real simple. We're an export-based distribution company. We're not bringing dooms into the country and resell. We're getting products out of Haiti and selling them to America, right? And we launched. We've had our fundraising round. You know, we have incredible impact players who believe that there's a better Haiti, that believe there is a line of progress for the country, and they believe that Haitians should do it. It's all Haitians. We're part of this investment group, and they stepped up. You know, I did a few months ago, I did a presentation here on the live stream. A few of them saw that. A few of them said, hey, Chris, let's talk, right? Gave them a few details. We had one-on-one conversations. They said, you know what? Asked real stringent questions, right? Gave them the answers they're looking for. And we are now doing this as an investment group. They have a percentage of the business. You know, we stay in contact. In fact, just today, we had an annual shareholders meeting. Earlier today, we had an annual shareholders meeting. And we're moving forward. And we're doing what people say can't be done. Haitians are working together. Haitians are putting their money together, right? And we're doing a venture that we need to have in this country, which is, and that takes some of our best products and bring them to the world. I've been doing this. I've been taking our capital, our people capital, and taking it from Haiti to the world, and now it's about product. How do you get the product out? And that's what we're doing. And what products are we doing? We're doing tobacco leaves. We're doing cassave. Just to start, this is where we're starting, by the way. Where we're starting. There's gonna be more. Tobacco leaves, cassave, coffee, honey, jonjon, l'huile masquée tea, right? Castor oil, black castor oil. Bringing that out the country, right? What am I missing? I feel like I'm missing something, right? I think that's 6. I'm missing a 7th. I'm missing a 7. Let me grab a list. Let me look at my invoices, and I'll let you know exactly what I've paid for, what we've paid for thus far, just to make sure I'm not missing any initial products. How could I forget this? Haitian peanut butter. That's the 7th. Haitian peanut butter is what we're bringing out. And what we're going to do is we're a wholesaler, we're a distributor. So we're not looking to sell things in detail. You know, we're not looking for folks to, hey, I want to buy one. No, we're not looking to buy one. We're taking straight to grocery stores. We have a network of 100 stores already that are waiting for us, and we're looking to grow to 1,000 very quickly. We're looking to partner with wholesalers, from anywhere in America. In fact, we already have wholesalers that sell on Amazon who already say, Chris, listen, we want what you got, right? Let us know when the container is. Oh, thank you. We were looking for vanilla extract, but it's been tough, by the way. It's something I was looking to buy, but I don't know. The few folks who sell they're being I don't know if they just don't have the stock or what, but that was supposed to be something we're supposed to bring out. But regrettably, I guess we're going to try to, for our next shipment, to have that. Someone brought out vanilla extract. And so we have Amazon wholesalers who are also reaching out and say, listen, what you got, we want, so we can resell on Amazon and other places we sell online. And I'm like, sure, And so honestly, as soon as this container gets out of port, our warehouse is in South Florida, by the way. Our warehouse is in South Florida. Honestly, most of our products already sold. But you guys feel free, go to hyperdistribution.com, send an email if anyone is watching and wants to be a wholesaler themselves. And I'll put the website in, by the way, hyperdistribution.com. You can see it, hyperdistribution.com, and then feel free and let's chat, if you're interested. So nous avons un détail. Minimum order is 10 units, 10, 12 units, FYI. And the big difference of this business model is that, we aren't necessarily trying to go at the level of the farmer, because that's a lot of risk. There's a lot of risk in that. The big differentiator for us is we partner with and really try to get preferential deals with these companies that are already established, who already have the relationships on the ground. For example, Cafe Lux, one of the first companies we've engaged with, and the owner, Randy Fist, his father has been in coffee his whole life, and then he grew up in coffee, in short, and went to became an agronome, went to school for it, and then decided, I'm going to do a value addition, because his father was just buying the beans, reselling it, versus, hey, he actually grinds it, puts it in a very nice marketing bag, and sells it like a true coffee company does it, right? And we're buying from him, right? And he has those relationships with thousands of farmers on the ground already. And so we're a true distributor. We're trying to find incredible producers already here in Haiti. We're trying to support local business in the truest sense. We already have the infrastructure. We already have the quality control. And the biggest risk in Haiti is in building, and the cost is building that aspect of it, and then selling it in Haiti through our network, right? And guess what? I ain't trying to keep it under wraps. There's going to be a series that gives you all the details of how we do what we do, right? Because the reality is, I don't, folks who missed the boat on investing, and we'll talk about that experience in a minute, by the way. It is what it is for them, right? But it's not too late. The next person who comes in and follows our playbook, wherever they are, great. Because for us, Haiti doesn't change until we become an export-based country, until our farmers are getting their product out internationally, which doesn't happen, right? Right now, we're an import-based country. And so until that change happens, Haiti, there is no hope for Haiti. I'll just be frank. Until we can change the way our economy works, there is no hope for Haiti. And until our economy changes, our government's not going to change, because our government is a parasitic entity run by parasites. That's right. I said it just like that, right? And so until the nature of our economy changes, and thus the parasites change, okay, we'll have to change. And maybe part of that parasitic change will also mean an easier business environment for us. I always say this. A lot of folks are waiting for the red carpet government, right? A lot of folks I know, oh man, until Haiti, changed, I ain't doing business in Haiti. Well, I guess you're never going to do business in Haiti, because, until we change the structure of what this country is by our work and actions, there is no change, right? It's going to stay the way it is, just the way it is right now, right? And so, I am a part of it, and I want other folks to be a part of it, right? And so that's why I'm not hiding anything. I'm going to give you the playbook, and in our different conversation, I'll give you pieces of the playbook, and at some point I'll give you the whole playbook for you to repeat, right? But I can tell you, so that's what the business is. And we're also going to be doing other things as well. For example, I know of companies and individuals who are trying to export out their product. They have product, they're trying to export it out. So a big part of what we're going to do as a business is actually do logistics. Folks who know me know when they're talking about bringing products into the country, I always refer them to ShipX. Right? I always refer them to ShipX. ShipX is a company that I have a lot of respect for. I know the owner; he's a great guy, and I always refer them to ShipX if you're bringing something in the country. Prices are great, and they're fast, they're expedient. And what I want to do, I want to be the ShipX the other direction, right? We're gonna open to any product, not just agriculture, any product you're trying to get out of Haiti. Starting next month, in fact, we're going to be offering that service to get products out of Haiti, right, at a fair and competitive pricing. Because there's ways to get it out right now, but it's so expensive. It's so expensive. So we're looking to really drive that price down and make it affordable for folks, right? Because at the end of the day, it's an auxiliary part of our business, right? We don't depend on that business, right? And thus we can make it cheaper because we're making our revenue a different way, right? We're making revenue a different way. And so we can provide this auxiliary service because it sweetens the pot, but we don't depend on it. And thus we don't have to tax so much, right? And so that's going to be a big part of our service, what we do. And then finally, even in the country, a big part of folks say, well, I can get it in the country fine, but she's like, man, Chris, I'm depending on my cousin. He's a bit of a, free spirit. It's hard when I get an order. He takes like a week before he puts it in the bag and put it in the box and sends it to the person who ordered. Man, it's killing me. So guess what? We're going to be a TPL. TPL is a third-party logistics company, which basically that's what we do. We're we give you spot in our warehouse. We give some of your product. We bring it in. We'll have somebody there. When your order comes in, you give us an email. We'll box it up. We'll put those stamps on it. We'll put the address of your order, and we'll get it out the door for you, right? So basically, we'll be, just think about what Amazon does. We're gonna be at Amazon. We're looking to be an Amazon warehouse for Haitian products and Haitian businesses who need a space, because we have our warehouse ready. That warehouse very roomy, and we can easily expand very quickly as well, given the place that we've set up shop, and so. We're really looking to be a part of the solution exchange of the ecosystem of getting export products out, right? Export product out and being part of the ecosystem of solution for it and do it in a cost-effective way. Right? And so that's the business. Right? I hope you understand what the business. hyperdistribution.com. Put it in one more time here in the chat. For those watching on IG, it's hyperdistribution.com. Okay, I see it right there. Hyperdistribution.com. See it? Okay. All right. So that's the business. So let's talk about my experience capital raising. Right. Let's talk about that. Right. Let's talk about that. And by the way, Aldo, Victor, that's a great question. Have you thought about doing a subscription-based program package for Haitian products? No. Well, actually, no, because the one already exists. I'm big about, if something already exists, support what already exists, right? We Haitians, we're too quick to try to start our own stuff, right? And just disregard the work of other what Haitians doing. We're so quick to say Haitians aren't doing anything. Well, no, you just haven't researched it. You need to go research it, because there's someone doing. I promise you, there's always a Haitian doing the idea you think doesn't exist. You just have to go research it and go support them, right? Plug into build, and let's start a culture of working together. That's what we really like. Let's build that culture of working together. And in fact, Taste of Haiti box run by a woman I respect tremendously, Eileen. It's a great product. It comes in a great box. I've done an episode about it. Research Taste of Haiti box. Let me type it in. Taste of Haiti box, and then type in, and on top of that, type in SeeJeanty. Go to YouTube and type in Taste of Haiti box and then SeeJeanty, and you'll see the episode that we did on the Taste of Haiti box. We've featured the Taste of Haiti box on SeeJeanty, right? It's a subscription based. So it doesn't have to be subscription. You can buy it just one time or as many times if it's someone's birthday or whatever. or I know a big favorite that Haitians like to do, so people like to do is for coworkers, right? Who don't know much about Haiti or maybe visited Haiti once and they're like to be re-engaged. They buy a Taste of Haiti box 10 at a time sometimes and gives it out, or company expense card, something, and gives it out, right? And or you can do because every month they change it up. Every month they do different products, a different product or different products, just so you can have a different exposure, right? And so again, check out Taste of Haiti box. And there's another one too called Bonbon Lacaille. Bon. Let me type that out. I'll type that in for you. Bonbon Lacaille, right? And you also type in SeeJeanty. And there is another one where they're doing Haitian treats. They do Haitian treats, sweets, and it's a subscription box service. They bring it to your home and a bunch of different really tasty Haitian treats as well, right? And that's another subscription box, right? So again, guys, never ever assume your idea, what you think doesn't exist. I promise you it does, because again, we have so many Haitians just like you who care about Haiti, who want to see Haiti progress, wants Haiti to proceed. And it's about finding those people and working with them, right? We need to build a culture of collaboration. That is our biggest Achilles heel. We have on our logo, the Union fait la force, but how much have we actually done it, right? And it's not the other guy's fault. It's you, the individual. What have you done to work with or work together? And though I'm not talking about Victor, by the way, I think if it's the A Victor, I think it is. Actually, he isn't part of that group I'm criticizing. So I'm not talking to you, Victor, but I am talking to the majority of Haitians who are quick to get on a soapbox, but slow to actually be part of the solution and change themselves, right? So let's talk about fundraising and how that went. So I don't want to say how much we raised, but I'll say it was a fraction of what the goal was, right? But certainly enough for us to get started and be pretty well capitalized comparative to how most Haitian entities start, right? And so, but still a fraction of what our goal was. And I can tell you that, the challenge of fundraising, I think it's the challenge of fundraising anything, is that, it's hard. You got to go to a lot of meetings. You got to present a lot of times the same things. You have a lot of people who waste your time, who don't have the money, but yet, that always blows my mind. The folks who are dead broke, but still will have you talk with them, just for the sake of talking with them. It's like, I don't know. I've always been of the mindset of like, I would never enter a grocery store if I knew I had no intentions to buy. I look through the window. Okay, cool. But I wouldn't waste my time, and I wouldn't waste the time of the attendant if I didn't have intention to buy. Nowadays, I could enter a grocery store. Now, my personality that prevents me from entering it because I don't like spending that sort of big dollar bill. But I could, and that's the circumstance that would allow me to entertain such things. So that's one big challenge, that you meet a lot of folks who, for different reasons, it becomes obvious. They'll just tell you, listen, bro, I didn't have the money, man. I just wanted to chat with you. Cool. But you just took away an hour, 30 minutes of my time that I could have spent with someone who, potentially does have the means, but just needs to be able to understand the program or understand the project. So that's one. The other one is, and that's fine, by the way, is the one that says no, right? Who has the money, listens to the proposal, and says, you know what, this is cool, but you know what, it's not for me. Thanks, right? I don't have, or maybe, you know what, it could be for me, but I'm pre-engaged right now. I've invested, other places. I regret. It's just not for me. No, right? They're real quick, right up front. They say no, right? And yeah, I can tell you, those first no's are, they're painful. I won't. It's hard to anyone who's fundraised know what I'm talking about. It's fun. It's Sucks getting that no, getting those no's. But I tell you what, I can tell you what, the alternative, I actually have tremendous respect for those who say no off rip, right? Because as fundraising, I think the biggest thing that will make you almost bitter as a fundraiser are the folks who say yes, who you propose, they ask questions, they say yes to you. They look in your face, say, Chris, listen, you can count on me. Chris, we're going to put that money aside. How much you said? Got you. Easy money. Like Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather. You know, they talk easy work, easy money, Chris. 10,000. You sure that's all you need? You sure that's all you need? Just 10,000? Because I got you, big dog. I got you. You need more? I got you, big dog. Only 10,000? I got you, big dog. They say yes. They go as far as signing paperwork. Yep. Where you need me to sign, big dog? Right here. Right here. That's it. Yeah. Dated, scanned, boom. And if they sign a pre-committal, like there's usually two versions of signing: the pre-committal and the hard committal, right? And both aren't really committal to them until you send the money out. By the way, just FYI. But the pre-committal is just like, here's the terms, like a term sheet, and then there's the hard committal that says, okay, here's like this is a legal contract that it's official, and once you send the money, it's binding now, right? They sign both. Get the second one. Okay, I read all 12 pages, big dog. 12 pages, easy read. Where you want me to sign, big dog? Right here? Right here? Got you. Scan it out. They scan it to you. And you go, okay, man, this person is enthused. He said yes to the pre-committal. He said yes to the committal, right? They sent it off, right? And so you start modeling. And by the way, there's just a quick shout out. Take a quick pause. Shout out to Philly Dom. Philly, how you in Haiti, bro? You ain't hit up your boy. What's going on, man? We're overdue that episode. Even though I'm busy as heck and I'm not even really doing episodes like that anymore, which we're gonna talk about later in this episode. What's going on, Philly? Hey, Philly, stick around. By the way, we're doing live chats. I'd love to get you on the live stream. Stick around, and I'll get you on the live stream. We'll chat a little bit. I'm sure a lot of the folks would love to have you on, and we can chat a little bit. You can tell me what's going on. Okay, so stick around, Philly. All right, stick around. Sorry, just had to shout out to my boy Philly Dom real quick. So, so the guys who they sign, they scan it, right? Say, big dog, we got you, big dog, right? And then the worst part is you start in your model, you start readjusting your budget and your financials, and all right, darn it, you know what? I didn't make my goal, but you know what? Here's what I think I'm gonna have, right? And the guys, this is again, you start remodeling. You start, okay, less payroll. All right, the 10,000 square foot building that I thought I could start off in, I got to downgrade to 5,000 square feet now, right? But still, you build your business around the expectation of the people who said yes, right? Because they said yes, and they say it enthusiastically. And then it comes time for the actual injection to happen. Right? The actual injection that happened, right? And that's when it gets fun, because you message them, all right, here's the bank account, here's the Hyper Distribution Inc. bank account, here's the wiring info, all right? And the same big dog guy, big dog, yeah, big dog, how much you need, big dog? 10,000? Yeah, that's little money, man. You sure you don't need more? You sure? The same guy becomes, when did you need it? Friday? Man, what happened was, I got this thing, I got my other venture, right? And man, guess what happened? Bro, if you had messaged me just yesterday, but guess what happened just a few hours ago? Boy, you won't believe it, man. I got hit me. I had to go out, had to cut a check, 10,000, another check, 10,000. Man, But here's the thing, though. It's like, I got it, though. I got it. You know what I'm saying? It's not that I don't got it. You know what I'm saying? Because You know, I'm me. But you know, I gotta, you know how it is. I gotta adjust capital and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But check this out. Give me 6 months though, and I got you. Oh, just say no. Yo, just say no. What is the matter with you? Just say no. Just say, yo, listen, bro, it's a great idea. I love it, but yo, man, I just don't got it. You know, I'm living paycheck to paycheck, bro. You know, I'm living deal to deal, bro. Money's tight. You know what I'm saying? I just don't got it. And I have an infinite amount more respect for that person. I go, listen, I understand. Cool. No problem. Thanks. And I don't build my models around your contribution. I keep it moving, you know, and I respect that. But the person who said yes, and then when it came time to actually contribute, sign paperwork, but when it came time to contribute, when ghost or gave you 20 different excuses, right? Like, I feel like there's a special place in an afterlife for a unique tranche of those people, because it takes a special person, you know, who, I mean, maybe they've never been an entrepreneur. They've never started a business bootstrapped, or, you know, and to know the amount of time it takes, energy it takes to go door to door fundraising, and build your model. And then when time comes and they don't, you know, it's, you know, it's not a good feeling on the receiving end of that. But at the same time too, it's expected, you know. That's the thing. I don't particularly hold a grudge. Those people, I won't associate with them. I'll associate with the people who said no. Fine, cool, you know. But those people in particular who said yes and went ghost, and or, you know, gave me the what happened was, you know, those folks, I'm you know, I'm gonna avoid you because, you know, something's wrong with you, right? You have something wrong with you. You know, that you're able to express vehemently that you were there to support, but then when the time came, you did it, right? And so that was a challenge I wanted to share. And I'm not giving any names, you know, I'm not giving any names, you know, I'm not calling and putting anyone on blast, you know. Those people are probably even watching now, right? But it happened, right? And but I tell you what, all those experiences make those few folks who went the distance that much more appreciative. I'm that much more appreciative of those who funded, who went through, who funded, and contributed, and are now shareholders of the corporation, right? And by the way, for folks who are interested, how do you invest in a Haitian company? You know, the short answer is you don't, because you know, I think I expressed in the beginning of this, I'm on 9 months, and I still haven't. They haven't given me the paperwork for it yet, right? And so what it is that Hyper Distribution Incorporated is going to own the SA for the SA, the Haitian entity. And so the investors, they own the incorporation, the corporation that's in America with all the American protections, American SEC requirements of disclosure. And if something goes wrong, if you feel things are being fraudulently done, you go to an American court, right? And settle in American court, right? And and that's the way I wanted to do it, versus, you know, there's a lot of risk in investing in Haiti, where courts aren't really a thing, and so the corporation, that C corporation that owns, is a significant shareholder, because a corporation in Haiti can be foreign owned, right? For example, Brana is owned by like 90% by Heineken, for example. So yeah, and that's how we, that's how we have that line. That's how my investors are protected, right? Right. And so that's been the challenge of fundraising. Just want you guys to know how it is. And I'll be honest, I'm really, I'm cool. Like, I had a few folks who were like, man, Chris, when it starts, when I see the trucks, man, and when I see the proof, when I see the proof that you guys exist, I'll invest then. But like, I told them that like, no, right? The Tesla doesn't work like that when they're fundraising. Airbnb or, all the, the name brand companies that when they fundraise, you have a window to fundraise and you provide funds during that window. And once that window is closed, right? And if there is another fundraising round, it's going to be for a lot more money for a lot less equity, because, you reward those who invest early with a better position, right? You reward those who trust you, who see that opportunity of what you gave with an early position and more equity. And so even if I were to do a future fundraising round, it's going to be for a lot more, for a lot less, number one. And number two, I'm really reluctant to open my fundraising up again, because I've restructured my entire company, my entire plan of operation to work with the fundraising I've got. And I'm really good working with a little bit of funds. Not a little bit of funds, but I've been in Haiti for 4 or 5 plus years now with just my money, doing business with just a little bit of money. And I've built companies that, have dozens of employees. We've been profitable for years, and that's just with a little bit of money. Now I have actual investors. Can you think about what I'm going to do and how I'm going to impact? And so, but why would I dilute my shares just for more money? Those are folks to understand. Like, I'm cool. Like, I'm cool. Like, it's going to be, for me to accept investment now, like, you need to be providing something more than money, right? You have to have experience in distribution. You have to, for example, Shark Tank. Here's a great example. I'm sure you guys seen Shark Tank. When a good business idea comes and the different sharks are fighting for the business, guess what they're doing? They're saying, hey, we're going to give you money, but also, you're going to get access to my network, right? I have box chain stores that I can make a phone call and get your products into the stores, right? Okay, that makes sense for me, right? You're bringing something else to the table that isn't just money, and it's going to give exponential value to where the company is going to be, right? Because at the end of the day, the biggest fallacy is, I don't care if I own 5% of my business. I don't care if I own 5% hyper distribution. 5% of $1 billion company versus 90% of $100,000 revenue generating company. It's a whole different ballpark. It's a whole different ballgame, right? And I'd rather own 5% of $1 billion than 90% of 100,000. Easily. All right. And so it's not about just giving equity away. I don't care about that. A lot of entrepreneur investors, I only invest if I get 30% of a company. I don't listen, bro. If I get 1% of Walmart, but if I get 0.5% of Walmart, hey, I'm a happy camper. You hear me? If I get 0.5% of Tesla, I'm a happy camper. Right? But you need 30% of a company to get out of bed. Man, if you don't sit down somewhere, man. But so let me get back to what I'm trying to say here is that honestly, I'm not closing the door on additional investment. Heck, if anyone's legitimately serious about wanting to invest in hybrid distribution, listen, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop in the email and, message, and we can go. Oops, actually, I put in the wrong email. That's the other business. Let me. I hope I don't confuse you guys. Let me. Let me clarify that. Right. So I'm not closing the door on inquiries on additional investment. Right. But certainly, just know my question to you is: now I'm in a situation where the business is launching, you have sales waiting, or effectively revenue generating. Before that, I was the interviewee. Now I'm the interviewer. Now it's like, cool. You want to give money? Okay, what are you bringing to the table? Before it's okay, yeah, I want. Before it's like, I want money, and then the person's like, all right, so what do you want? Yeah, so I'm being interviewed. Now it's actually we're being interviewed. I need to know what you're going to bring to the table as well. It's not just about money anymore because we're live. We got all the pieces of the puzzle already in place, right? And if I'm gonna dilute shares, I have to understand what is it that is being provided, right? So that's where we are, right? That's where we are, and that's I just want to give a rundown of that aspect of it, and I just feel again incredibly blessed for the because again, I understand that the investors we have. I have, it's crazy. I have Haitians in Dubai as investors. I have Haitians in Singapore as investors. I have Haitians in New York as investors, right? So I have Haitians all over the world as investors. America, Dubai, Singapore, right? Florida. And I'm very happy to say I have a Floridian investor as well, because being from Florida, I'm glad Florida's represented as a shareholder, right? And I share that to say, we have an international group of Haitians who have decided, we're not about that talk, right? And a lot of folks used to ask, Chris, why don't you do a travel? Why don't you be a travel guide? No disrespect to travel guides. I have no disrespect, but I always share that, I probably will. And actually, it's funny, if I did open up a travel agency, but the goal was never for me to be the travel agent. I was to try to connect to other travel agents. Book Haiti was that, and then also make a percentage off bookings, Haitian, hotel bookings, stuff like that. I never had intentions of being a travel agent myself, because I came my vision of how I want to engage in Haiti has always been more industrial, more capitalistic, more economic centric, more impact, more scale, right? More job creation focused, more industrial side, right? No disrespect. Don't get me wrong. One of the favorite things I like to do is and we're going to keep doing that. Right? We're going to talk about SeeJeanty media in a moment, but I like going out to and exploring the country and showing you guys. So in effect, I am a travel agent in that way, that as I go out, I see cool different things and I share it with you. I create episodes around it. That is in a way travel agency, but that isn't how I want to get the revenue that I depend on. Right, it needs to be on other things. Right, and so I'm this company, which really, a few folks have asked, okay, so Chris, what's next? What's next for you? And I'm like, nah, this is where I want to be. This is where hyper distribution is kind of, people, forget that there's a SeeJeanty media and associate me with something. They're gonna associate me with hyper distribution more than anything going forward, because that's really where I want to put all the eggs in my basket. And though SeeJeanty media isn't going anywhere, believe me, we're going to talk about that in just a moment. What's next for SeeJeanty media, but so that's where we're going, and I'm incredibly excited. Again, I'm incredibly humble for the investors that have signed up, who went through the whole course, were part of it, and I can tell you, and I made a promise to them, and I'm going to keep that. I'm going to say, I told them, listen, you guys, what you're doing here, I know your money is hard earned, but you could have invested it in 20 different ways. You could have bought a brand new piece of real estate, perhaps with this. But I can tell you what, my goal is to make this the most lucrative investment you've ever done. This 10,000 you're given or whatever you're given, 5 to 10 years, I want it to have a valuation of 100,000 to $1 million, easy, right? And that's my commitment. I don't take. It's not even about the money. It's about the trust. It's about the trust. You are able to trust in me. You were able to trust in me. You read the business plan, and you said, you know what? I trust that, because in any business, in any entrepreneurship venture, the business idea is, that's one thing. It's important to analyze, but more than anything, you gotta analyze the character of the individual doing the business. Analyze the tenacity of that person. Analyze, can this person go the distance? Is this person not going to be discouraged of the first hardship and the second hardship and the third hardship, right? Right? And so, what is this? Who's this line? Okay, block that user. Can this person go the distance, right? And by them saying yes, they said they basically effectively told me, yes, I can. And that means a lot to me, more than any positive word. And any see me on the street, SeeJeanty Media, like what you're doing, SeeJeanty, like what you're doing. That vote of confidence means the world to me, and I don't take that faith and trust lightly. And I'm gonna go to the distance for those folks who put that faith in me initially, right? So just know that, right? So that's what I really want to say about that. Again, we have warehouses in America. We have warehouses in Haiti. We have trucks. Our trucks have been purchased here in Haiti. We have staff. Our staff has been hired already. And we have a driver, for example, we hired, to build that infrastructure, right? We're working on building that network of stores and places, right? And of course, if you want to be a wholesaler, any wholesaler inquiries, anyone who wants to buy Haitian products, again, remember the minimum buy quantity, wholesalers minimum buy quantity, at least 10, right? Contact, I'm gonna put a little contact, same place, info@hypro.solutions. Reach out if you're looking to buy. Again, what we have thus far, I'm gonna type that in. We got cassave, we got tobacco leaves, we got coffee, we got Haitian peanut butter, right? And again, well-branded stuff. This isn't like just some guy on the street. This is like professional grade stuff, right? Haitian peanut butter, right? What else we got? Haitian peanut butter. Let me look at my list again. Oh, Jean. We got Jean, right? We got l'huile masquiti, black castor oil, right? Right. Let's see what else we have. Honey, Haitian honey, jars of honey. Haitian honey from the Central Plateau, right? Sub-Carib, no, we're not going to do private labels because I'm here to support the companies that are doing it under their own brand, right? So we're not doing private labels. Though we may in the future do our own packaging of raw products like shila rice and pizzini and a bunch of different stuff. We're not necessarily looking to do that yet. That's quite a ways away. Right now, I rather work with companies that are on the ground and doing incredible work. I gave the spiel already of why my perspective is what it is on that right now. All right. Let me press enter on that. Okay. All right. Boom. Press enter. You guys can see what we're offering. So definitely, if those who are looking to wholesale, reach out to us, and we'd love to start the conversation with you, right? Of building that pipeline of sales. And again, there's a lot of demand for these products. So certainly reach out to us. So that's hyper distribution, right? Do follow us on social media. I think our IG is hypro.ht or at hypro.ht. As we grow and we do different things, a lot of the information is going to be there. What we offer, our products, things of that sort, is going to be over there. So that's it. That's last time I talked about hyper distribution on channel. I don't want to make you think I'm here to sell you something necessarily, right? I'm here to talk about Haiti. I'm here to push the narrative, and I push the narrative of working together and collaboration and doing economics the right way. And I talk about it because I'm doing it, right? I'm not just some guy, some talking head who just has an idea and just, because I'm talking about it, I'm doing it, right? I'm working with Haitians to build Haitian enterprise. I'm creating jobs. I'm doing nothing comes out of my mouth that I don't legitimately believe and I'm legitimately working towards. Honestly, right? And so, yeah, last time I talked about hybrid distribution, you may see me with the shirt on, maybe. This is the uniform. It's my military suit, hybrid distribution shirt. But beyond that, it's we're doing SeeJeanty Media. Now, the last talking point is itself SeeJeanty Media and where SeeJeanty Media is going, because I know a lot of you guys I see a few comments, where's the OG? what are the guys who wrote that? Like, where's the OG, man? What's going on? Where's Chris? And honestly, listen, from day one, I saw that, and I'm not going to call any creators out individually, right? Because some of these creators are my friends, and I know them very closely, but they create brands and they do things that are showing Haiti in a positive light, or doing things so unique and so cool, but it depends on them. The moment they stop, the moment they get discouraged, the moment they, move on to something else, life happens, they get a kid, they get married, it stops, it goes away, and that's like a black hole, right? What they were goes away, right? Goes away, right? That doesn't help what we're trying to do here, right? It doesn't help the work you've put to just let it go away, right? The thing is that we need to build things with infrastructure. And infrastructure for me is, can it operate independent of you? Me from day one, I realized that very quick. When I first came to Haiti and I started SeeJeanty Media, it was just me. I was trying to start a business, my staffing company, and also put together videos like myself, right? And real quick, I had to make a choice: my business or my media. I picked my business, and so I did a few months of SeeJeanty Media, took a pause for maybe 6 months to a year, somewhere around there, before I rebooted. And I knew I need a videographer, right? Because not that I can't do my videos, but from a timing perspective, I'm never going to keep up my business activity. I'm always going to keep doing that, but also the content side needs to continue. And so from the reboot, I was building a team, and now my team is 4 guys strong. Right? Actually, I'm sorry, 5 now. I have someone joining the Haiti Biz News team, a credible woman. You guys see her articles. So we're 5 strong, right? Who operate independently of me. I provide quick editorial guidance, but they shoot, edit, report, write, publish, share independently of me. A lot of times I be talking and I see the post go up. I'm like, oh yeah, there is a video today. That's great infrastructure, right? We are, for example, I would say this: the directional goal for us is two pronged for SeeJeanty Media. It's to, through Haiti Biz News, have the Bloomberg of Haiti, a very much well-funded entity that focuses on Haitian business, much like Bloomberg faces on business internationally. And then SeeJeanty Media, who eventually becomes SeeJeanty Studios, where we have a whole studio space dedicated to, creating content, creating shows, and shooting and editing, and really, much like God, what's his name? Tyler Perry Studios. I mean, that is, a vision of mine of having a very large. I'm I'm not aware of any real large, well-capitalized studio in Haiti. Having a studio space that does content constantly with dozens of videographers, dozens of cameramen, professional lighting, professional sound engineers, script writers, hosts. We're talking the whole nine. Each day we have content being produced from different aspects of Haiti and different stories and different lines. That's the direction we're going, right? So SeeJeanty Media, I want to make it very, very clear. We are not, I'm not going to be the face, right? Don't get me wrong. There is going to be a lot of content I'm still going to be a part of, particularly like our city series. I still want to be a part of that, especially once the startup phase of this company settles down and we have the infrastructure in the company, so I can get some of my time back a little bit and start to do those things again. I foresee, Haiti Biz spotlights and meeting entrepreneurs in their facilities, showing those operations. I really love that. I love that. I want to still be a part of that, right? For example, I foresee, hyper distribution, all these suppliers, all these companies we're buying supplies, product from. I look forward to highlighting each and every one of these guys, guys and gals. There's incredible women entrepreneurs and women owners that are part of these businesses. Actually, believe it or not, there's more women owners in these formal companies than men, actually, which is very cool to hear, to let you know about. And so that I'm gonna still be a part of that, but everything else, I want, I don't need to be a part of it. I think we have an incredible amount of other talent that can collaborate, that can be part of what we're doing here in SeeJeanty Media. To, again, just know the hope for me. And one reason why I do what I do, a lot of folks, one of the first people who I got on last time I did my one-on-one and did a live, like, Chris, man, aren't you afraid of doing business in Haiti? Aren't you, given all that, aren't you a little scared? And the reality is that I'm building something in that hopefully in 5-10 years, no matter what happens to me, it will persevere. And I say naturally, and I say happens in the way, whatever may have naturally, unnaturally, whatever. God will knock on wood. This is a wood table here, right? Whatever may happen, right? The goal is to build infrastructure to where what is being built here is going to last long after I'm not a part of it anymore. My measure of success is when I step away from this, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a family member that takes it over. It doesn't have to be my son or daughter that takes over any or all of these businesses. Like, for example, Tim Cook has no relation to Steve Jobs, right? But yet he's running the business effectively, and Apple is going to be a brand for a very long time, right? And honestly, everything I'm building it in that regard to know the entity itself, as long as it stays on a Haiti-centric mission, right? Can it continue to grow, right? And can it continue to be a part of the mission of what that company is? And that's really about you yourself as a leader. Can you infuse the culture and the passion and the desire into the company as a whole? Can you infuse it in the DNA to where, again, folks may have a perspective of Apple and say, well, it's not the same since Steve Jobs went away, but they're still producing product that people swear to, who are moving away from. And so it's not impossible. It's been done. And the goal is making it happen in Haiti, in the Haitian context. And that's hopefully what I'll successfully achieve if God gives me the time to achieve it. Right? So that's SeeJeanty Media. Honestly, again, Haiti Biz News, we're moving closer to the Bloomberg of Haiti. We have our daily show. Anyone who's watching now, I am asking you, I'm begging you, let's hit that subscribe button, hit that notification, and maybe you weren't aware of the Haiti Biz News show. Let's watch it. Let's give it some more consistent views. you know, because, you know, there's great information on there, guys. I'm telling you, I watch because every day I'm basically the editor, right? I still am part of but before something goes on air, I'm very much a part of reading the story and saying, yeah, this is great, but make sure to give that really tee in on that economic perspective and give your perspective and making a conversation, giving those style of notes. And even after I look over the show and I go, this is how you should improve and not improve. And I can tell you, when I get my show notes now, this is great. No comment. Let it go. And even after the episode, I look over, I'm like, man, I had no, you know, didn't have a critique. You know, save for one thing maybe, because, you know, when you're editor, you got to find something. But honestly, I'm looking at this, I'm like, man, when I compare the notes I were providing initially and the fact that I'm nitpicking one element, now, you know, it shows there is growth happening and it's executing in a way that if I was doing it, I would be satisfied, right? It looks polished, it looks clean. Like I'm not even looking at it from just me being me. Like I'm looking at it from the perspective of just third party looking at it. This is a clean looking show, right? And I think probably the most consistent criticism probably is the background. You know, they're like, Chris, the background could use some work, right? I get it. We're thinking about how we can change this background and do different things. And ultimately, I can tell you that I have a vision in my head in terms of how that show needs to look that we're not able to execute just yet, but I know how we need to look. My team knows how we want to look, and we're going to get there. We're going to get there. Okay. I can't tell you when, but we'll get there. Okay. And again, SeeJeanty Media is going to produce more independent content. When I say independent, like I won't necessarily have to be on screen. I'm going to be, you know, for example, if you saw the last episode of Caribbean Craft, where Magali was basically the episode owner, and she gave us a tour of a property that had all her pieces on it. And I came in towards the end with a voiceover, or maybe towards the beginning in IT analytics, I come in as a voiceover. I think that's the direction we're going to be. We're going to stay. We're going to keep on growing, because again, I don't need to be there. I think you guys understand what SeeJeanty is about. You guys understand that we're doing something no one else is doing on the internet for Haiti, and I think you guys understand it's not about me. It's never been about me. It's been about Haiti, number one. It's about building a culture of progression and changing the conversation. And I don't need to be a part of it necessarily. Leading that conversation. I just need to be a part of it. And I think, and I want to thank you guys who continue to support, continue to watch those episodes, and continue to understand that we're transitioning. I mean, you know, for example, in the corner here, those who are on YouTube and Facebook, you see over here, if you look at every live I've ever done, down here it used to say SeeJeanty. The thing is, SeeJeanty isn't me anymore, right? SeeJeanty is a brand independent of me. In fact, when you go to my IG now and you look at what SeeJeanty is, you'll see that SeeJeanty isn't. It used to be entrepreneur, as what the describer was. SeeJeanty. That's not what it stands for anymore. It's a media and news company now. It's what SeeJeanty Media is. It's a media / news company is how it's defined now, and I'm just a founder of it. Right. So it's a big shift. It's a shift here. We're changing the perspective now, right? So SeeJeanty can live and be independent of me, right? Without losing the essence of what you guys have enjoyed, right? But at the same time, I'm not going away. You know, I'm still going to do monthly lives like we're going to do now. This part was going to be a little longer than what we usually do because we have so much to talk about. But you know, it's going to be more about one-on-one lives. Going to bring folks on the live. We're going to talk to random people, folks, on the live. Questions can be answered. And so that's the direction. That's the part I want to move towards, and I'm looking forward to this new wave, right? So I think I covered everything as it relates to what's been going on. I've updated you on hyper distribution and the fact that we're starting. And listen, we're looking for wholesalers. So, not looking for investors anymore. We're good. For those, the big dogs, we're good, big dog. We're good. We're good. I have to laugh because, yo, big dog, yo. You already see him in the chat. Yo, big dog, you said you're investing, big dog. Man, why you say something, big dog? I got it. Big dog, I got it. How much you need, big dog? You need 10,000? Man, I'm good for it, bro. But the moment you care about, okay, here's the wire information. Oh, what? What you said this week? Oh, wait a minute. What? So what happened was, so that phase is over, but you can still plug into hyper distribution in a different way, in a way that's probably going to be more cost effective for you in the reality of things. And that is hyper distribution as a wholesaler. Get the product, resell it. I think it's going to be a lot better for a lot of folks to plug into that way. So feel free. So hyper distribution is a thing. It's coming. We're going to have our first product in America in roughly around 2 weeks from now. First product's going to be out the door. All right. So we're very excited about that. And again, and SeeJeanty Media has been is being restructured to function more independent. Right, because again, what we're doing here, the work we're doing here on SeeJeanty Media is too important to depend on me, right? And so it's not going to depend on me. It's going to depend on the incredible staff that's growing and making things happen. So, thanks, guys. So that is the first half of the show, right? We've been at this for about 2 hours now. First half of the show. I want to go probably another 30 minutes and do or a segment I look forward to, which is I want to grab few folks on the live and have a conversation with them, right? And just you ask a question. Let's try to keep it to one, max 2, 1. Just keep the time limit. I'm going to cut you off. I hope you don't consider me rude. I am going to cut you off if you're going a little too long with your question or your statement, because I want to ensure folks have chances to. If I can get a few more than just 5, great. Right? If I can get a few more than just 5, great. So let me do this. I need a quick break because we've been at this for 2 hours, right? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna type in this. I'm gonna type in the. This is what you're gonna do, right? Here's what you're gonna do. Send a question to. Send your name. And a question to SeeJeanty share. Okay. And by the way, I'm about to close the IG, by the way, but just so you guys know, you switch over to YouTube or Facebook so you can keep up with the conversation. And I'm gonna type in the email here where you can send your question. All right, SeeJeanty share at gjeanty.com. Right. So send your question to that email, and then I'll read it, and then I'll send you a link to be a part of the stage, so you can come on the stage here on my YouTube and Facebook, and then you'll ask that question yourself, with your own avec bon push pow, as they say, right? So, but I'm gonna take a quick break, real quick, about a minute, just kind of stretch my feet there, grab a little bit of water, and then we're gonna be back. I'm going to be back on stage here. And before I completely go off, let me get SeeJeanty share going. Oh, I got to log into that. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm waiting for your email. Is there? All right, so I'm going to be right back to, let me grab a little breather. So I'll be right back, 1 minute max. And then folks will be on stage, and especially Philly Dom, if you're still out there, send an email so I can give that link. If you could be one of the first people to do the one-on-one before I get other folks. Okay, I know our fans have been asking for the SeeJeanty Chris Jeanty, Philly Dom, you know, on screen for quite a bit. I was on your channel for one episode, so feel free to allow me for there. But everyone else, ask a question. What question should you ask about business, about Haiti, about what's been happening? You know, earthquakes or anything, right? So feel free. You know, SeeJeanty share. I'm gonna leave it on screen here actually. And I will be right back. And again, I'm ending the live here. Let me go to end the live here on IG. Go to YouTube, SeeJeanty to continue watching what's happening. Okay. Close that up. Okay, I close that up. Boom. All right. And again, we'll be right back. We'll be right back. say what you want, but I like my music. That music, I can just play that whole 25-minute intermission on loop. That's one thing I've always made a point for what we do here, has been, how to make a very appealing sound to what we're doing here, and the work we do. And one of the best compliments I like getting about my media after them telling me, "Oh, Chris, you're consistent," which you have been, no matter what. We always trying to output content. But the second thing is, the sound. You just have a great sound, man. And because I take pride on that. I take pride on making sure our music is appealing, and it's catchy, and you should be able to. It doesn't dominate. Is it a dominate? We're not making a music video, you know what I'm saying? But certainly, I want you to be able to, nod your head to it. You know what I'm saying? Like nod your head to it and be confident. With it. I'm just reading a question here out the email. Okay. Cool. Let me pop that link here. All right, so I'm getting a few emails here through the SeeJeanty share, so feel free, drop it. You'll get what's going to happen is I'll respond to you with a StreamYard link, and then you'll be able to come on stage and ask your question in person, and we'll have a conversation. Right. So yeah, I hope that my absence has made sense now. Now that you guys have a better understanding of really what I've always expressed. If a lot of you folks who've been following us here, you've known this isn't a surprise for you. I mean, you've known this is the direction we wanted to go, right? Where it's not necessarily me here. That I always express that. I have no desire to be a media personality. My personality is inherently actually pretty reclusive. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind when I'm in the airport and someone sees me and SeeJeanty, man, look what you're doing, man. Look, listen, I love it. I get a kick out of it, honestly. I'm not of the level where I'll try. It's gonna be a long time before I ever get to that level, I think. But at the same time, too, I don't do it for any of that. There's people who do it because they need to be seen. They do it because they need to be a part of, on camera. But honestly, for me, it's just, it comes with the territory that, if I'm gonna give a story and a narrative about what's happening in the country, that I'm going to be a part of that narrative, but it's not necessarily about me in the least bit, right? It's about, the story, right? And the company or the hotel or, the story, right? And that's where I don't need to be around for that, right? Though I do enjoy the aspects of, again, the encouragement for me is meeting others who are as incredibly passionate and as incredibly about that action is a term I like to put. Those who are about that action, right? Because I don't think I would have connected with as many people about that action if it wasn't for what we got going on here, what we're doing here, right? And I think more than anything, and by the way, hats off to Castro Jean-Pierre, Giles Jr. Appreciate that, brother. Let me just give a shout out, put you on stage. Boom, thanks for that. Keep up the good work. Building the bridge. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. Shout out. And of course, your funds are going to go to the team, as I mentioned, the team that is building content and pushing out that narrative. So thank you, Jean Giles, for that. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Right. And I think I have someone here. Let's bring them on stage. Yo, Max. What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man. It's good to have you on stage. You asked a really, really good question. there. So I'll let you repeat that question and we'll talk about it. Go ahead.
All right. So my question is about imports. I've been thinking about trying to develop and do business in Haiti, and a lot of times when you buy something from the States or to send to Haiti, it gets held up at customs at the port, and I'm not sure about what the fees are before they get there. So as part of the business plan, I would like to understand more about the levies and the fees that they charge or the tariffs that they charge at the port. So my question is, have you done a video on that yet? And if not, what would be the proper Haitian authority that I could, go to them to understand what these port fees would be? And if you could elaborate on the ones that you do know about. So.
All right. Thanks for that question, Max. Appreciate it, man. Where do I start here? Max. Max, have you been watching me for a long time, or I don't know? Have you? How long have you? Would you say you're a viewer of SeeJeanty?
I would say 6 months.
6 months.
Mm-hmm.
6 mois et au mois de bail, ça se passe là.
I haven't seen the reason why. I've seen videos about
Okay, let me repeat. Let me change my question. How long have you consistently watched my lives where I've actually been able to provide my opinion unadulterated about different topics, such as the question you got?
I've seen mostly YouTube videos.
Okay. So I won't go too hard on you, Max. I forgive you.
In my defense.
You don't know. Okay. All right. Because I've expressed this perspective a lot of times on my live, which is the first tier of venture. In fact, I have a book, in fact, 101 Ways to Make Money in Haiti. I do recommend you check that book out. We do talk about different elements. Oh, got it. Awesome. Chip your way through there. And you see, yes, importation is in there as an idea. It's impossible not to. I delayed writing it. Writing that idea as long as I could towards the end of that book. But even when I do, I talk about it. The only type of importation that should be done, if it is to be done, is one that's going to value add, right? Where we're grabbing a product, and then once it gets here, you do something with it that involves Haitian labor, right? You transform, you add logo to it, you brand it somehow, or you add some element that can really only be exemplified here in Haiti, and then you sell it. For example, hot dogs is a recent big venture that a lot of big money Haitians have put money together to make a big money venture. Okay. And what they do is they buy meat from abroad, cheap thing to do, but then they transform it to hot dogs, value addition, and they sell it in the territory. That's fine. It's a large factory because it's producing so much jobs and employment. So I'd give that context first to say, so let me ask, Max, what are you looking to import? What do you want to import?
Items in the solar industry, like panels, batteries, batteries.
Okay. All right. So that's a fair item. It's not used clothes. it's not rice or food that could have easily been grown. So, okay. So I think that's one line of product that even myself at some point I may get into, because the importation of technology and importation of solar energy, things of that sort, is in a way value addition. And there's ways to do it. For example, there's a company called Digital Cop, digital and then KAP. You should check out. I think I talked about them in the book. That one thing they were doing solar imports, but they put their own brand on there. They went to China. They work with distributors over there to actually put their name on there. They bring it over here. And they work with electricians to install, maintain, and they've built a brand around solar panels. So it's not just a acheter les vannes. It's a legitimate business that's driving job creation, right? And so however you do import, I beg you to try to do it in a way that, how can I maximize the job impact? And usually the best way to maximize job impact is to transform it in some way, right? Add something to it, color, logo, something, that painters can do, and then sell it. And or even if you don't do anything to it, building out infrastructure of salespeople and people to work on it, right? So that's the first part. Now the second part is, there's no at the core of your answer question is the answer you're not gonna like. You're not gonna like this, because the reality is in Haiti, there's two Wild West, and there's the customs, and then there's the tax office. And when I talk about, so this is the tax office and this is customs. And when it comes to the Wild West of Haiti, okay, Wild West of Haiti, I'm talking the worst aspects of Haiti in terms of corruption, in terms of laws not being respected, in terms of people trying to, add a certain value of what on something when the value is a fraction of it. So here's here is how bad the tax office is. And now I'll stop here. And here is see how my hand's going off screen? You won't know where it stops. The tax office. I mean, listen, Max. I have had one interaction importing something it was a laptop, by the way. And lucky for me, it wasn't a laptop I paid for. It was a laptop that a company I was doing consulting work for, brought in and paid everything for. But I walked away as I felt, it's hard to express. I walked away from that experience of that tax office, the import customs douane. I felt violated. I felt, I held myself a certain way. I had to look at myself in the mirror. I'm a man. I had to remind myself, I'm a man. Because of the level of, you're being abused when you're standing in front of a guy who's eyeing you up and down, and without a shadow of a doubt, he's just making up a price. And you know this because when you walk out and you're like, there has to be a better way. You call someone, who that's what they do. There's people, and that's what they do. They're middlemen. They're sometimes a better term for them is they're racketeers, right? Their job is to facilitate and help you interface with the the ocean, the waterfall of corruption that exists in these two institutions. And so they say they charge you 100,000 good for something. You send a racketeer in. A racketeer is a professional. They go in, they negotiate on your behalf. Either way, you're going to be paying something I should be paying. But the racketeer goes in, comes back out, and says, "Yeah, I got it down to 30,000 for you." What? I didn't hear what you said. Yeah, I got it down to 30,000 for you. And even then, that the true price probably is 500 good, right? And the racketeer himself is probably making 10 off that, and the other people are making 20. And so you still know you're being. I'm sorry, I'm going to use a very expressive language here. So you're being bent over. But you're not being bent over to the extent of if you were going in by yourself.
Dolo.
Right? And so, listen, Max, the way it should work is it shouldn't be a situation where this is the way it should be. It should be you go online, you go to the douane website, everything should be listed, and that's what you pay, right? And for some things, it actually is listed. For example, I know I was able to find what the tax rate for cars are supposed to be. Right, on the douane. Maybe by mistake, it was an archive post for Google. I don't think I found it actually on the douane website. It was an archive post on Google I found during my research in my book, and I saved it. That's how it should be, though. It should be easily accessible and on the website, right? But ask yourself, is that what you're actually going to pay, right? If it's you doing the import, a lot of companies, you can go through a lot of companies that they've figured out a way to interface with them on volume with cash payments behind the back door to allow that they don't have to pay these exorbitant costs each time, right? That's just the reality of it. Okay. You can always ask yourself, how did this come about, right? And when you understand that since the time of Pitchell, when he organized it, instead of trying to go and collect tax from these individual property holders, we could just tax it out of the port when it's leaving or when it's coming, right? And then when you realize too, when we got imposed the indemnity, and the most efficient way to collect tax was through the port. And so in 1915, the American government came in and took over, occupied us. Their number one priority was taking over the port and making money off the port. And to this day, when you understand that the entire machine of the Haitian government, the very ill-working machine, the most of their revenue comes from tax from the port, right? And in addition, that how little they pay these people and the culture of corruption that runs this country, it's been able to, you ever leave a petri dish out and it's able to grow until it becomes a brand new species, right? That is what the douane is. The douane is a new species of corruption that, there isn't an easy way to import without the assistance of a rakete. So the short answer is, brother, you need to find a rakete, to who you can trust, because a rakete is inherently someone that's hard to trust because they're in the world of
the dark world.
The dark world. So inherently, right? And inherently, you're gonna, lose your money once or twice as you go through racketeers and find one that, takes his craft serious. Because there's this honor in the racketeering, right? To be able to come back and give good work, and when you find a good racketeer who takes honor in their work, and ultimately fights on your behalf and gets things done. And I can tell you, anyone who's importing in a serious vein, you have no choice but to find these shady characters, and they work with you. And that's just the reality of this country. There's a facade that people will try to sell you, that there's lawyers and there's people who can do things for you, particularly for importing. Right? You just have to understand, like, importing is the lowest denominator corruptive activity in this country, right? And again, when you wonder why, right? When you wonder why, how do these gangs get all these guns? And how do these gangs get all these bullets, right? It's because you have a wild, wild west at the port where you can pay someone off and they close their eyes and they don't check that. They don't check. See that container over there? Here you go, buddy. Forget about that container over there. Because they know that container over there is from the very bottom to the very top, guns, bullets, ammo, arsenal. You can just slide somebody $100 bill. Forget about that container. Right? So, and that's a big contributor to the insecurity that this country has right now. The port, right? So I hope I answered your question.
Right.
Did I answer your question?
It's complicated. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So so for your particular product, I can tell you, technically you're not supposed to pay tax on solar panels, right? Any solar energy, any energy product since a decree under Matili. You're not supposed to pay tax on solar panels in particular, right? So God bless you. You're not supposed to. God bless you. Thinking you're not going to pay something. So yeah, that's the best I can tell you. I wish I had a better way to phrase it. I hope maybe 5-10 years from now we'll have a government who takes business more serious, who takes corruption that happens at the port more serious.
Right.
That's one reason why I'm happy to be in the business I'm a part of, because I'm not bringing product in, I'm bringing product out.
Mm-hmm.
And bringing product out, they don't, the tax laws and the way the process works for taking product out, because you're working through a shipper, and the shipper has a lot more control over that product. And all they can do is really test to make sure what's being brought out is brought out. There's a lot less place for them to make money off you when you're trying to bring product out, right? And so one virtue of being an export-based distribution company is that you're not adding to the ills and the pains of the country. Because as much as the sad reality is when you're an importer, the sad reality, unless you legitimately have a legit way to import, and you're not paying these racketeers and these it's like a lot of people, a lot of realities when you buy weed, for example, from your weed guy, right? And by the way, listen to me. I don't smoke weed. I just want to put a statement out. When folks do that, they say you're supporting an ecosystem that allows, murder and drug killing, drug lords, gangs fight each other for territory, and then the whole supply chain of, from Colombia all the way through, right? Sad reality is when you're importing, the reality is your money is going to very corruptive people who then have no regard to the society as a whole, and it, it's tough. It's tough. It's not your fault, by the way. It's not your fault. You're stuck. You can't. There's no other way to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
It's not your fault, right? Especially if you're importing a value-added product like solar panels, right? So that's why I do. Big stipulation in my book is, always ask yourself, number one, if you can work with products already in the country, number one, and number two, can you figure out a way to bring products out? Because when in those two ways, you're not adding to, either directly or indirectly, with the challenge and the difficulty of what makes this country difficult to operate on, right? So, yeah. And by the way, I saw a comment here that you may find value added. Please consider investing in solar being built in Haiti. It is being built in Haiti. Okay. Shop is idle. Okay, so there you go. So reach out to IET. Apparently, you may not need to import. There might be some solar panel stuff you can buy in the country. Maybe it's skipping the importing aspect that I talked about. Right. So something to think about, Max. Okay.
All right. Appreciate it. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate you, man. Keep watching.
Likewise.
Leave a review on Amazon about the book once you're done. All right.
Got you.
All right. Cool.
Later.
Yeah. Peace. All right. Let me. I was talking. I had a few different emails here. Let me go ahead and let me send a few emails out here to get some folks on stage here. Bear with me, guys. All right. Okay. All right. So while we're waiting for folks to get in, there's a little bit of setup when you first get into this app. So when folks get in, so that's the big thing, is that, here's the thing, guys. I will never hide Haiti from you. Haiti is a country with a lot of promise. It's a country with a lot of great people in it, doing great things. But once you start interacting with the government, the government, all roads lead to the government. All roads to the problem that this country has leads to the government. And as much as you can sit back and talk about neo-colonialism, and you can talk about the core group, and you could talk about, a racist geopolitical environment, but that at the end of the day, the government runs the port. At the end of the day, government is a part of making money off the corruption that exists. At the end of the day, there is no counterbalance force within this government that is trying to push us and have this country be better, right? And you might say, well, Chris, the reason why though is because of the core group. It's because of the U.S. Every time we have a good leader, they come in and they, for example, and this is legitimate, by the way. For example, during the election that got Motley in power, arguably everyone knew that the best candidate that would have operated with the best interests at heart would have been Jude Celestin, right? But for reasons related to the fact that Jude Celestin would have acted independently of U.S. interests, not necessarily worked against U.S. interests, but worked independently of U.S. interests. Hillary Clinton did not back him. Hillary Clinton backed Motley because they realized, Motley, he'll work for our interest. And what's messed up is this is a logical thing, right? A country working with another country is only ever going to want someone who fully backs the interest they have in that country. It's only logical. It's illogical to assume that the United States will ever do things for Haitians. Are you insane? Like, in what world do you live in? Do you think the United States will ever do things for Haitians? Right? Just because you have a few senators who are getting up and saying we want to help Haitians and Haitians to work, Haiti work for Haitians. Are you out your mind? That's not how geopolitics works. Geopolitics works where countries play the game of geopolitics to advance their country for their country people. Hello. It might be a surprise to some of you guys. This is how it works, right? So the question becomes, is despite that, how do we get someone like who will work independently into office despite that, right? How do we do it, right? And I don't have the answers. But a part of that answer is working together. So I'm about to bring somebody on here. It's been long overdue. I'm excited. I'm about to bring somebody in here who's gonna lighten you guys up, right? And we got to bring him in. I want to make sure he's good. Philly, give me a thumbs up if you're good. You good? All right, here we go. Philly Dom in the house.
What's going on, man? What's going on?
Yo, man.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good, Philly. Good to see you, brother.
Remember, the next time I said I'll see you.
Prestige.
Have a prestige. But you said that.
Wait a minute. But where are you right now? That's the question. Are you still in OCOP?
Yeah, I'm in OCOP.
Okay, man. That's good, man. I saw the videos of you going up to the Citadel. Was that the first time you going up to the Citadel, man?
Yes.
Yeah,
that was my first time. That was my first time.
First time, man.
Okay. Hold on a second. Great things. Take that one out. Hold on a second. I have a small little technical problem. There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. I had you on another channel too. All right.
Okay. Perfect. Good stuff, man. Yeah. So you said it was your first time going to the Citadel. You said.
First time, man. That was an emotional moment, man. That's Haitian history at its best, man.
Listen. This is what the Citadel means to me. The Citadel means to me. I proposed to my wife there. So
you did?
Yeah, man. It's when I rebooted SeeJeanty after taking a very long break. The very first episode was OCOP series.
Okay.
I was actually the last video I edited by myself from beginning to end, before I got a videographer to leverage my time.
Okay.
And in that episode, which is about 20-ish minutes long, I did a proposal to my wife. On there, I got my drone up. She didn't know a thing. A thing. And then I proposed to her right on the Citadel, and it was very emotional.
Yeah, that's very romantic, very emotional. Man, I didn't know that.
Yeah, man. But that's why Citadel means extra special to me, and I look forward to making a different pilgrimage there.
Okay.
At some point. Yeah, man. So how long are you in Capais here for?
I don't know, man. We had try to help out the people with the earthquake situation and everything. So I don't know. There's no set time when I'm in Haiti.
Okay.
I feel bad. I was sitting in DR a little bit too long.
I thought Philly Dog became the Dominican Republic show.
The Dominican Republic show. Yeah, I feel bad. I was getting some heat. I was getting heat.
Yeah.
They leave little comments in there. They talk to you about that. Like, you should be in Haiti, helping your people. Help Haiti.
Good stuff. And you are back in there. You took up the task and you're back in there. So whenever you're back in Port-au-Prince, that's what we're really waiting for. That's when I'll exchange that prestige with you when you're back in Port-au-Prince.
Okay.
Whatever that is, you know.
I'll be there one of them days soon. I'll be there soon. I'll let you know ahead of time, or when I'm there, I'll contact you when I'm there. Good stuff.
But how are you seeing? I don't know. How are you seeing your channel growth? How's YouTube? Because here's the thing, guys. For those who don't know, I think you're. I don't want to say you're full-time, but you're full-time now.
No, I'm full-time. I'm full-time.
Yeah,
Once I stepped in Haiti last year with the COVID, that gave me the confidence to go full-time. You know, I still have my 9 to 5. But
so
I'm full-time with it now.
How are you seeing things? I know the YouTube algorithm is such an unforgiving beast, man. Are you? Yeah, man. How are you adapting to its ebbs and flows, man? You know, as a full-time YouTuber.
And you talk to other content creators that are doing well, and they give you advice. And I mean, I study it like if you was at a university and you study in like a class. You study it and you start to learn what works for you, what doesn't work for you, what you need to change, what you need to improve on, and you get better and you get better and better at it. But it's something I want to do.
What I'm curious, I can tell you, you probably have the most hardcore fans, bro. Like even before I knew who you were, like people would spam my chat, like be like, "Yo, you gotta reach out to Philly Dawn, man. Yo, reach out to Philly." And I was like, "Man, who is this Philly guy?" I took a look, and my first video was one of your Dominican Republic videos. Actually, I'm like, "Man, y'all trying to recommend me a Dominican Republic guy?" You know, but then I kept getting it. I'm like, okay, all right, what's going on? So I went back to your page again. I scrolled down. I'm like, oh, okay, he's doing some Haitian stuff. Okay, cool. But then I think when I finally clicked to who Philly Dawn was around, I believe it was around COVID when you started doing that full-time series.
Because I was stuck in
going around and doing the lives. Like, oh snap, this dude is really doing it. You know, really and doing something I kind of wanted to do, but I never had the time to be able to do it. Which is just go around and just giving a raw. Uncut, you know what I mean? Just here's what it is, man. No fluff. Just here's what it is. Take it, take it.
Yeah, because Haiti is the kind of place where people don't even think people got cars in Haiti. They don't think people go to clubs. They don't think people like own bit. They think everybody is sleeping on the floor on a mat.
Right.
They think of Haiti. Everybody's at the worst situation as possible.
Right.
Yeah. But I have a friend here.
Okay.
I have a friend here with me.
Okay.
I'd like to introduce you to.
Okay.
Another fellow creator.
Okay.
Give him a little drum roll.
What's going on, guys?
Mr. Ace Live.
Nice to meet you guys.
How you doing? Hey, Ace Live.
Nice to see you, man. You really doing some phenomenal work here, and you really are a trailblazer here. This really putting in a lot of work just to get people excited about coming to Haiti, and I want to salute you for that, man.
Thanks, Ace, and I will make sure to send me Philly. Make sure to send me Ace's YouTube. I'll definitely follow, check out some of your stuff that you're doing, and look forward to seeing your work, Ace. Appreciate it, man.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
But I wanted to say this, man.
Hold on, talk.
Speaking about what Philly was just saying, and for your audience, this is actually my first time here in Haiti. I was born in the United States, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about my experience. Ever since I, grew up, I would, my mom. I would
have a seat.
mom
Sit down. You like you're kneeling. Sit down, bro. Be comfortable.
What is the key to the home? The battery about to die.
Oh, the key to the room.
Hold on, we having a little technical problem.
No problem.
All right, the battery might die. If that dies, we'll come back.
Okay.
But my experience coming here was amazing. I didn't tell my mom I was coming here, even though it's my first time coming here, because I knew it would have gave her too much blood pressure. But she's okay now. She found out. But my experience in the 90s, I saw my mom getting ready to go to Haiti, and we actually prepared a trip when I was an adult to come with her, and it was the same year as the earthquake. And then a lot of things went downhill in terms of rumors, what was happening in Haiti. Was it okay for someone to be exposed to that? And my mom, being, the mother, and any mother wants to, what's the word? Somehow overprotect their kids.
Yeah.
And in a way not to see exactly what's going on, or they've been away from the country for so long. Perhaps they, live in the United States now, and they don't want their kids to be subject to the life they had, not knowing how Haiti has changed big time. It's not the same Haiti they grew up in. It's there's a lot of technology now. There's a lot of stuff that's happening in Haiti that they're not accustomed to seeing because they've been gone for so long, or only they spend time in a certain area. My experience here has been amazing in terms that I'm running around with Philly Don and seeing things for the first time for myself. A lot of people, I'm a content creator. A lot of people get upset at how I react sometimes. Like, I should know this already. You gotta go over there. And I'm like, well, I've never been here before. You know what I mean? Right. And the imagery of Haiti is not, and I knew based off of talking to my friends that the imagery of Haiti was not exactly what was being portrayed on media, but I needed to see it for myself, to be honest with you. And so we started off this trip in one of the most touristy places, Cap Haitian, and then we moved from there, and now we're in the south of Haiti, and we're driving through the countryside, beautiful roads. You know, my conception of Haiti is they didn't have any roads. I thought Haiti had an issue with roads, and that was not the case. There are areas that need some development, but there's so much areas that have roads. I'm like, wow. And then this going through the countryside, seeing the beauty that Haiti is. I'm like, oh, why they don't show this? Because I've traveled to other places in the world, and I say, this is exactly how, and these places get more props for it than other places. And I'm like, it's here, and it's wide open. And I know your platform is about progressing Haiti in business, and so this is why I'm bringing it up. There's so much space for investments opportunity in Haiti. What I was saying when we came here,
he wants to invest in Haiti,
because we see some beautiful. We saw some beautiful landscape. I won't say where we at. You know what I mean? Some beautiful landscape, and we're close to the beach. Okay, and we see blue Gatorade looking water out here. And I'm like, there's no air. There's no high rises out here. Well, there's a couple. Not really a couple, but there's. So we're scattered. They're scattered. Yeah, it's just a beautiful place. It's a place to invest and possibly bring an audience here. Even because when I first arrived here, I met a Philly here. But when I first arrived, I was traveling with some friends. Because the first time, I wanted to at least have people to show me around.
Really important.
Well, as an adult, it's like, okay, who can you, talk to? And I have to be I wanted to come to Haiti very safe and careful because of the stories that are here. So I came in with my friends, and it was 3 of us. One of them was born here, and the other one was not. And we were going through the immigration line, and we saw that we were the only 2 American-born Haitians going through the line, and we were like, wow. This is kind of speaking what's going on with the tourism right now.
Now, Ace, just to clarify, so we're clear. Are you saying that there were mostly Haitian natives, or was it blondes, like foreigners?
No, natives.
Okay,
the plane was full with natives. Okay, and we were the only 2 that were going through the foreign line. So we went through the foreign line, and we were like, wow. This is what, and they were saying mostly Haitian tourism is based off of homegrown tourism. People who been here, go leave and come back.
And what's crazy is, and I know you guys both know DR very well. I remember when I went to DR, I remember it was the opposite. I remember the foreign side, because when you enter DR, you have to pay, just like in Haiti, you have to pay some money, right? I remember the foreign side, it wrapped, it went long, but then the domestic side was like, it's really just walk through. Those were the Dominican visa. Or Dominican passport, just walk right through. So it's like the opposite, the way it should work, in my opinion. But man, you saw it.
I've actually never been to DR.
Oh,
and what? I've never been to DR.
Philly changed that. Philly will change that for you.
Well, he knows how I feel about that.
We already had conversations about the DR.
Oh yeah, you're not about that
DR too. I'm not.
Fair enough. In my defense, Ace. In my defense, I just went so I could almost like a reporter. Just like I didn't really go to spend my money or enjoy. I just want to kind of see what's over there, you know. And it's kind of mind blowing. And I understand it's the same island. I don't feel you know what I'm talking about.
He's like, man, and I was like, yeah, I understand. I totally understand. And when you hear things like that, as a, you know, even though, you know, I wasn't born here, you would, you know, being biased, like, yo, I want that for Haiti. I want them to do that same way. And so, and it can happen, and it will. It just needs to, you need it step by step. It's like what you talk about in your platform is like Bitcoin in 2000 and what when Bitcoin started, like in 2000,
way back.
We're talking about in 2008, right? When it was like $1 in 2008. So it's like it's an opportunity if you take your time and you do enough research to see that perhaps there's a place where you can take advantage of, and you being of Haitian descent, really enjoying some of the property out here. And like, yo, did you know about this part of Haiti? Did you know that it was like the secret gem of Haiti, like the secret gem of the Caribbean? Yeah. We never knew about this beautiful water. Look at this beautiful hills. It's a you know what I mean?
It's mind blowing, bro.
We think about nightclub.
You won't lose, I can tell you. There's a reason why bar resto. Every street has one, because you don't really lose with that money. You know, the Haitians like to spend their evenings with a good prestige and good music. You know what I mean?
Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now. I do not drink beer. I don't like beer. Right? If it's like the only resort, but this right here is different.
Yeah,
it's like a light mata. I don't know, maybe it's like a light mata with a good taste to it, and it's really good, man. It's really good. I love this compared to like other brands that are out there. I really love this.
Prestige is my gateway drug to alcoholism. Because the same way I wasn't much of a drinker before, then Prestige got me drinking. You know. Good stuff, man. But listen, Ace, I while you're talking, I went ahead and subscribed to your channel, man. You indeed, you know, I'm seeing the count. You know, you take this YouTube serious. So I'll catch up. I'll catch up on this on some of especially the Haitian episodes you dropped recently. Definitely take a look at those. And listen, man, let's stay in touch, and certainly if you ever make your way through Port-au-Prince and the timing's right, the timing wouldn't be right now. But you were there already.
Port-au-Prince, but we were there already, but we didn't spend too much time there. We wanted to see if we can get to Ground Zero area. So we're in that facility right now, and so we've been coordinating.
Okay, good.
With different groups to see how we can make a difference. So we're still working things out. But you want to talk about what you seen, man?
What, in Ground Zero?
Yeah,
it's depressing, man. The Haitian situation is very depressing.
Yeah,
but what about the spirit of Haitian people?
And they're very, very resilient, man. Like no matter what, they still like living life. They moving forward with life, even though the deaths, the loss of homes, they don't have places to stay. They don't have they're not eating the proper food because of this, that, and other thing. We went to go visit them. We went to a couple camps yesterday in what's the area? What is that area? I'm a butcher. You probably know Haiti way better than we do.
In the mountain area.
No, we wasn't in Okai.
We went up mountains.
It starts with a C.
Boom.
It's up in the mountain. It was the hardest hit place. We told them take us to Ground Zero. The hardest hit place.
Listen.
St. Louis is pseudo's hard hit. Hardest hit place. Oh, Cap Pelin. Yes, Cap Pelin.
Was it
Cap Pelin? Yeah, we went
up. Listen,
the roads are cracked.
What we saw was we saw some craziness on the road. Like the rocks from the hills, they fell and blocked the roads. But the government was able to clear the roads.
I've seen that video, and they basically cut a path, you know, from the landslide. I've seen it. Like so on both sides, it's landslide. And there's a little bit of road.
They cleared it up so cars can go through, so we were able to go through. But once we got to this village, I could not believe it. But, you know, it's my first time in Haiti, but I could not believe how beautiful this village was. Yeah. It was so, I was like, oh, are you serious? They have this, and you never see this.
You talking about the picture views like on the mountains? Like
no, we were walking through. It's like you walk through this nice golden ground.
Okay.
And then just going through this nice humble village that's with so much color and greenery, and then the blue sky.
Okay, yeah.
It's like a perfect place where you would do Airbnb or not an Airbnb, a hostel, like an eco-friendly hostel or something like that. It's perfect for that type of situation. Yeah. And people knew, and investors knew about those places. They would consider opening places like that, have it available for a lot of. Because one thing I noticed as a from America, Haitian diaspora, right? How you say it? Diaspora, Haitian diaspora.
You said it right.
You said it right. Right. A lot of Haitians want to come back. They want to come to the Caribbean. Right? It's like black people don't want to come to Caribbean. They want to come to Caribbean. Most of them go to other places, right? I won't say the other names. But if they knew there was something available for them, in terms of the beach it's untouchable in terms of color, the energy, the accountability. Like you can we could have a good time party. They will come here, if it's there available. Right now, it's not being promoted enough. And so because of that, people go to other places. But if you build an infrastructure, there's definitely a market for it. And he's gonna cover it right here, Mr. C, right here. And
on that idea, I think a game changer for Haiti and it might be too much of a game changer for the world, really, but a game changer is going to be SpaceX and what they're trying to do satellite-wise, right? I think once that happens, and you can be, because honestly, the big, I've seen folks talk about insecurity. Haiti doesn't have insecurity. Right? That's the biggest thing that I want to take a second to clarify. Haiti doesn't have insecurity. Port-au-Prince has insecurity.
Okay.
Let's be very clear. Port-au-Prince has insecurity. Haiti doesn't have insecurity.
You're 100% right about that. We said that too. He noticed that.
Right. Yes. Like you in the countryside, in the provinces, like I dropped the IG story the other day where I'm on my motorcycle in Jacmel, and I'm slightly out and I lost my helmet. 3 hours later, I go back to where I thought my helmet was lost, and someone had hung it on a tree, just so I could find it. Can you imagine that? Like people don't take stuff in the provinces. Culturally, Haitians don't need to take because we fought for our independence. We have ours. You know what I'm saying? Like, but Port-au-Prince is a different animal. And so the moment that like a SpaceX comes in, and you don't have to be, because Port-au-Prince has the best internet, like hands down, especially if you're doing remote work, you need to be in Port-au-Prince because they have fiber and stuff like that. But the moment SpaceX happens, you can be out in like where you guys are right. Imagine being out where you're at right now, and you have like 1 gigabyte of internet. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you ever mess with a big city in Port-au-Prince?
This is why we were saying today, we're in a very nice hotel, beautiful views. And I'm like, why don't people see this? Because the internet can be a little spotty depending on how you use it. Right now in this building, they have really good internet. Yeah. But as far as like for your phone or something like what people would use,
it's spotty.
Mm-hmm. But it's available. But when that's gonna start? As far as like the satellite,
so next year, next year, early next year. My understanding is early to mid of next year is when SpaceX is supposed to go online. They're already testing it. Like it's already live in small batches. They're testing. Some people already have access to SpaceX already. Like so they're just testing. It's supposed to come out next year. And I'm telling you, I got my pre-order board. I'm ready. I'm ready.
That's a game changer. Then that's a game changer.
It really is going to be. Especially for you guys. Even you guys as professional. Imagine that's gonna be such a game changer for you guys, for YouTubers, like you professional YouTubers. Because imagine you like in the middle of, because I'm seeing you in Mexico here, Ace, and like Peru and stuff like that. And imagine you're in the middle of nowhere in these places, and you can just cool. I just finished editing, upload.
See, that's okay. So I'm glad you mentioned that, right? Because certain places have promoted themselves as expat destinations, right? Mm-hmm. So digital nomads can go over there, and people can go over there and look. You can find some form of what you live at, where you live at in the United States or whatever, Europe, and some form of comfortable lifestyle here. So if they have that here, and if they can have more apartments here, people will come. People will come. Right. And if they know they don't have to worry about security, like you said, that's Port-au-Prince. Because we were running around other parts of Haiti, and we're like, yo.
No problem.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And then, so I feel like it just need to be it just need to be set up that way, and the Haiti will be in really good shape. It's going to be in good shape.
So let me ask one more question. I know my time about to probably, you guys will be my last guest probably, because we went a bit over, but it's all good. But okay. So this episode you guys are about to drop here, I'm sure soon. When can we expect it? And I guess, you know, what do you think the episode focus is going to be? You know,
well, we've been lucky. I want to say, you know how much, because we're just coming in. We just came to ground zero area just to see what people needed, and we concluded that the people need, at the moment, to make things. We can't fix the problem, but we've noticed that most people need infrastructure, right? Out of anything, infrastructure, as far as to feel like they're back home, tents and stuff like that. But we came up with an idea. Perhaps we can help them sleep better, because a lot of people are sleeping on the floor. We're trying to figure out if we can
rocks. They sleeping on rocks.
We're trying to look for these mats. We saw a lot of people with these mats, and so we're trying to see if we can find the best price for mats, and so we can purchase them and distribute them. And so that's what you're gonna see. You're gonna see us in the coming videos. You can see some now in Philly's channel. Going through the city, and then did you put the country video?
Yeah, I didn't put it up yet, but I'll put it up.
And so we went to the city, and then we went to the countryside, and you'll see a lot of us just learn. And then yesterday we went to the countryside, so we heard a bunch of different stories from a couple of earthquake victims on how they've been coping and what living situations they're on now. It's heartbreaking, you know what I mean? This guy was going to cry.
I was really hurt, man.
He was going to cry.
Really
man. And I guess what's so worse about it is really how alone these guys are. These men and women are, in the sense that, you know, there's no state. You know, that's how you realize how ineffective, and you know, there's no government that's even trying.
They brought that up.
That's even trying to do anything. You know, and so. You know, but it's not new though. I think everyone in Haiti understands, you know, you got to be careful. You know, you got to do what you got to do. Keep the straight and narrow, because, you know, when things go south, there's no one you can turn to except yourself and maybe your family and your immediate friends, you know, and so it's not a surprise to anyone here, but still, it is still surprisingly how unsurprised the government, it's surprisingly how unsurprising the government behaves every single time. Right? They behave just like this that you're seeing, right? So, c'est la vie. But listen, man, it was a pleasure meeting you, Ace. You got a new, you know, long-time subscriber, man. I look forward to catching up on your videos, you know, and next time you guys are in town, for sure, let's you know, plan ahead a little bit, and I love to put something together, you know, to really exemplify what you guys are doing, the SeeJeanty style, and so we definitely do a cross collab. For sure. I
wanted to say one thing, right? One of the number one reasons why I wanted to come here, right? Well, so much, because there's been so many chances I've had, but like I said, I had to break my mama's heart. You know what I mean? And you probably have some audience here that can resonate with what I'm talking about. Like, family doesn't want you to go, right? So I wanted to help Haiti. And I know there's a couple people who are watching, like, yes, I want to help, but we've heard rumors about where was the funds really going to. You know, they made us a laughing stock 10 years ago when they said, "Oh, we sent so much billions of dollars
to Haiti."
And I read, you know, and then when you really get ground there and like, listen, man, it's a lot of mismanagement happening there. So we came here to see who was on the ground running in terms of helping for real. And so that's what you'll see in our episodes coming
up.
You're going to see us do something, and then we're going to give you our recommendations on who is still doing stuff, or who has a track record that is really pushing an effort to help the community there. Not just only earthquake victims or hurricane victims, but just people who really need an assistance.
What the guy tell you from the one charity group?
He
said, what did he say? He said that in Haiti, it's not a place he can go in Haiti that somebody does not need help. Anywhere you go in Haiti, somebody needs help. So he said this has to be an ongoing thing with the Haitians abroad, to be first to help, and then other people will get on board.
Right. And in that way, you can ensure it's actually getting to the people too, right? I always look for those local organizations. Guys, thank you so much. It's been an absolute honor and privilege and just fun to chat with you guys, man. It was cool.
No problem.
Yes, sir. All right. Take care, guys.
So I'll contact you if we go that way. If we come your way.
For sure.
We're coming that way.
We coming that way.
We can't say when.
No worries. But listen, Philly, you got my WhatsApp, man. Let me know, man. And I'll etch out some time. You know, it'll be hard, but I'll etch out some time, man. Don't you worry about it. I'll figure it out.
All right, no problem.
Yes. Right. Peace. Yeah. It was great to have Philly Dom and Ace live. I wasn't aware of Ace, but you know what? I'm a subscriber now. He seems to be a real deal. Has lots of really interesting content. But definitely check him out. And I think for those who may not have known Ace, I'll definitely I guess let me grab his link. I think this grabs. There you go. I'll drop his link out to. YouTube gave me this as his YouTube link. And I'll also grab Philly Dom, by the way. Let me go to Philly Dom's page really quick. And I'd love for you guys to go ahead and follow Philly Dom real quick. So let me go to Philly's page real quick. And there you go. And that's Philly's page here. Boom. So y'all go give Philly, I'm sure you guys already subscribed to those guys already. But if you, just in case you're not, go ahead, subscribe to those guys. Really stand up folks who are in Haiti right now, showing a different perspective, which is what it's all about, right? So that's going to be where we're going to end this 3 hours plus show. The first half was about what I've been working on, where the future of SeeJeanty is going. SeeJeanty, myself, Chris Jeanty, what I'm doing, hyper distribution, being online, and what's happening. So do check out that first hour and a half or so that we talked, and then check out the second half where we just spoke with you guys one-on-one. Each month I'm gonna try to do these. I might be able to even do these more often. I might even be able to do these once every other week, maybe. Just because the big time sink for me was honestly preparing the Haiti Biz News live. Right, it was by myself. I was going through weeks of Haiti Biz News, Haiti business news, and reporting on it. But now that we're growing the team, the infrastructure, and we have Stanley, Pierre, Etienne, and a growing team. We have a correspondent now for the HaitiBizNews.com website, where we have original articles being written about what's happening in the country. Now that the infrastructure is being, I don't have to necessarily be on top of it. I think there's more opportunity for me to organically have these sort of conversation with you guys. Where honestly, I can just pop on. I mean, I even have an announcement. Just have pop on. Say, hey guys, I'm here for a little bit. Who wants to chat with me? I just bring on folks one-on-one, just like we just did, and we just talk. Ask questions about what you have in your mind, and we can have a perspective. I look forward to that more than anything, because that's just fun. It's just fun getting to know you guys and giving and speaking specific to the issues that you guys have, right? That's fun, right? So that's where we're going to end it. As per usual, if this is your first time watching it live, hit that subscribe, hit that like. For those who want to be part of an ecosystem and really support, really enjoy what's going on here, really want to support, think about the SeeJeanty private WhatsApp group. Think about joining the private WhatsApp group. It's a community of folks who are really working to be part of the change. A lot of these guys are doing great work and part of a group of 40 plus people that's growing. So do think about joining. And one of the benefits and one of the coolest things about being a part of the WhatsApp group is you're contributing. It's a monthly contribution, right? But for that contribution, a lot of the content that you're seeing here continues. The content that you see here is able to happen really because of the private WhatsApp. The private WhatsApp, if it wasn't for the private WhatsApp, a lot of the things that I'm doing now infrastructure-wise wouldn't happen, right? It's just really like if you guys are over to Patreon, like a Patreon, Patreon, that's kind of what this is, like a Patreon, right? That allows, this sort of independent work to happen. And so those who are members, thank you. Those who are interested in becoming members, come on in, right? And then, of course, I do got to mention about hyper distribution. We're looking for wholesalers. We're looking for folks who are looking to resell the products we're bringing in from Haiti. We got cassava, we got peanut butter, we have Haitian coffee, tobacco leaves. I mean, we have a lot of stuff we're bringing in. And so those who are looking to be hyper distribution wholesalers, just send a message to info@hypro.solutions, right? And of course, listen, guys, keep doing what we're doing. We'll keep making it do, what it do. We'll keep pushing that content. I appreciate everyone. Again, the real MVP is the person who was here at the start of the live 3 hours ago and is still here. Man, it ain't me. I can talk for another 3 hours. That's easy. that's light work, right? What the real MVP is you watching from the very beginning to the very end. So hats off to you, whoever you are, wherever you are. Hats off to you. Respect. And everyone else, we'll be back at it again. We're back at it again. Peace.